24th of December, the Tri-City Americans got a tie and a victory over the Kamloops Blazers. They were a pair of tough games. It'll be a tough one tonight, too, between these two Western Conference rivals. We'll be back in 1 minute with the opening lineups and the face-off of tonight's game between the Tri-City Americans and the Kamloops Blazers. Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott at the Tri-Cities Coliseum, where tonight the Tri-City Americans host the Kamloops Blazers. Starting lineups look like this. At the blue line for the Kamloops Blazers, Darwin McClelland, number 24, standing 6'1", 190 out of Sylvan Lake, Alberta. The other defenseman will be Pat Bingham, number 9. Bingham, 6'1", 195 pounds, out of Vancouver, a 20-year-old, now in his 4th Western Hockey League season. The line for the Kamloops Blazers, or check it won't be Bingham either. It will be Kim Deck, the other defenseman. Deck, 6'2", 184 out of Medicine Hat. It'll be Bingham at right wing. Left wing will be Mike Needham. Needham standing 5'10", 195 out of Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta. And Phil Huber will be the centerman. Huber is 5'11", 185 pounds out of Calgary in his 2nd Western Hockey League season. For the Tri-City Americans on the blue line, number 4, Steve Jakes. Jakes, one of the Bruce brothers, 5'11", 185 pounds out of Surrey, British Columbia. And Dan Scherstenka, 5'10", 170 out of Edmonton. At center for the Americans, number 14, Stu Barnes. Barnes, 5'11", 180 out of Spruce Grove, Alberta. The right wing, number 18, Sean LeBrun, 6'2", 195 out of Prince George. And Steve Rennie, number 23, from Surrey, BC. Now, ladies and gentlemen, join Monty Ingersoll with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Monty Ingersoll will now be joined by Mel Howard for our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam?
Bingham. And, Tony, I'll say one thing. They don't do it any better anywhere else in the league.
Quite a pair of lungs those two have, don't they?
Yeah, they do indeed.
Sends the old shivers up the spine when they do that. That's good music. Like that.
That'll be Rennie with Barnes and LeBrun, or Barnes with Rennie and LeBrun. Rennie on the right wing, LeBrun on the left. And it will be, LeBrun on the right and Rennie on the left, and it will be Stu Barnes sliding into the center ice circle to face off against Phil Hubert. Barnes and Huber as we get things underway. Tom Hampton, the referee, drops it. It goes to the Blazers. Here comes Kamloops. Kim Deck shooting it across the blue line into the Tri-City zone. Furlan signals icing, but it'll be touched first by the Blazers. Back for it is Pat Bingham. Bingham shoots it out in front of the net, centered, and back to the blue line. Now dumped back into the Tri-City zone. The Americans steal it away. Here comes Rennie. Headman pass to Barnes. Back to LeBrun. LeBrun with it, shoots it across the face of the net, and Hirsch is able to tap it away. Puck stolen away along the boards by the Kamloops Blazers. Knocked back in by Rennie. Rennie and Barnes go in after it. Barnes left of the net. Stu Barnes has it checked away from him. Rennie goes in after it, wipes out into the corner. Rennie back up to Scherstenka now. And we have the puck tied up there as Rennie and Scherstenka tie up along the boards with number 14 Needham and Phil Hubert.
You know, the key in this game tonight, Kirk, is to see what kind of legs both these teams have. The Kamloops Blazers played against Spokane on the 18th and took their Christmas break, and the Tri-City Americans had that 8-4 victory over the Victoria Cougars on the 17th. And both teams have been off the ice for several days now, and both practiced very late last night, so we'll check it out right here.
Well, line change for the Americans and for the Cougars. McNutt on the face-off. It comes out to Kutowitz at the left point. Kutowitz shot wide of the net. Puck goes down into the right corner. Now the Blazers try to steal away. Stolen by the Americans right in front of the net. Dumped in by Delcourt, but it went bouncing into the right of the net. Delcourt chases into the corner. Now it's knocked away off of his stick. Spenrath gets it underneath to McNutt. McNutt taken off his stick by Delcourt. Tried to center for Spenrath in the slot. Couldn't get it to him. Here come the Blazers. 2-on-2. Left of the net, Shazowski, and it's blocked away by Furlan. Now it's driven around behind the net to the right side. Kutowitz shooting it back out to the blue line. Kept in play by Cruz. Cruz dumping it into the left corner. Racing it after it is Shazowski. David Shazowski has it taken off his stick by the Americans. Here comes McNutt. McNutt tried to get it through two defenders. Has it stolen away by Shantz. Brian Shantz shoots it back into the Tri-City zone. The magician Furlan leaves it behind now for Kutowitz. Cutter shoots it out left side to Murray Duval. He chips it along ahead to McNutt. Back to Fry. Fry over the blue line. Has it stripped away at the blue line by the Blazers, and we have a whistle.
We're going to have a tripping penalty against the Blazers. First opportunity for the power play for the Tri-City Americans.
Power play number 1 for the Americans as a trip is called against number 3, Stephen Ewell, the defenseman, and it comes at 1:45 into the first period.
The Tri-City Americans are on a streak of 7 consecutive games scoring off the power play after a very anemic start at the beginning of the year, where they went at one particular time 2 for 32.
I would say that's beyond anemic. If your blood count was that bad, you'd be in a fine box. 18:15 to go, first period. Faceoff will come just inside the Kamloops blue line. Barnes with Spenrath and Nibs. At the blue line are LeBrun and Jakes. Barnes loses the draw. Linford has it. Linford shoots it out into neutral ice. Jakes back forward for the Americans. Slides a pass across and is shot in on goal to the right. Phil Huber blasting one from center ice. Just about handcuffed Furlan, and he let it go by to the right side of the net. Now the Americans start the line rush. Comes up to Nibs. Nibs plays it off the boards, intended for Spenrath. Spenner can't get to it, and it's slapped back into the Tri-City zone by the Kamloops Blazers. Now LeBrun with it, behind his own net. Sean LeBrun. He'll wait, hand it off to Nibs. Shot back around behind the net for LeBrun by Nibs. Sean LeBrun. LeBrun bringing it up into neutral ice. Shoots a great pass ahead to Barnes. Barnes to Spenrath. His shot, a backhand wide of the net to the left side. Out to the point now to LeBrun. LeBrun goes to Jakes. Head of the slot, a drive! Slapped that inside as Hirsch got the block, and we have a whistle. Hirsch made the save, and now Spenrath and Don Schmidt, or check it. Yeah, it is Schmidt.
And looks like Smith's going to go sit down for a few.
Well, what an opportunity here.
You bet.
That one comes at 2:29. I've forgotten how to count. And it'll be a, I'm not sure of the call. I think it was roughing, but I'm not sure.
I believe it was.
Kamloops penalty to number 28, Don Schmidt. 2 minutes for roughing at 2:39.
Well, you hear the call from public address announcer Tom Lathan.
A great opportunity for the Tri-City Americans right now. Kamloops has to play the pyramid defense or the triangle defense, but there's 5-on-3 right now.
For 1 minute and 6 seconds, so a big opportunity for Tri-City. Even if they score, they would have a second power play that would extend for another 54 seconds.
Watch Benrath head for the net off this if Barnes wins the face-off.
Barnes on the face-off against Mike Needham. Those two are almost neighbors. And it's on the face-off, shot toward the net, and Hirsch comes out to bury it. And a whistle immediately, and we'll do it again. Face-off to the right of Corey Hirsch. Hirsch, 5'10", 170 pounds, out of Calgary. Hirsch's right-hand side, his glove side, or your left as you look on from center ice. Barnes on the face-off. This time against Brian Shands, is dumped into the corner. Barnes chasing around behind the net. Stu Barnes wheels out to the left side. Barnes back out to LeBrun. LeBrun to Jakes. Jakes head of the slot. Looks at a shot. He'll take it. It hit the pipe and went right around behind the net. Went high in the air. Chasing it into the corner is Spenrath. Spenrath and McClellan now dug off his stick by Barnes. Barnes with it. Brings it around behind the net right side. Americans 5-on-3 for 39 more seconds. LeBrun at the blue line. LeBrun looks at a shot, slides it to Barnes. Back to LeBrun and a slider shot, and his block goes wide of the net. Blocked by a defenseman out front. Now Spenrath digs it off the sticks. Around behind, plays it off the boards. Back to Jakes. Jakes on the right side. Jakes a drive! Rebound inside! Rebound wide of the net by Frank Malone. Shot back up to LeBrun. Good defensive job of the Blazers. LeBrun looking at his shot. 11 seconds remaining. Barnes to the right of the net, and Malone couldn't get down on it. Shot in by Jakes, wide of the net. Back around left side to Barnes. 2 seconds in the double penalty. To Jakes! Jakes drive wide of the net. Score! And they scored. Double penalty is over, but Malone gets it.
Frank Malone right there for the rebound off of Steve Jakes' shot. Bounced right in front. Frank Malone picks up his 6th consecutive point. And Frank Malone has scored a point in every single home game he has played for the Tri-City Americans.
Five on three, and the penalty, the goal comes at the 3:48 mark. So the Americans go 1 for 1 on power plays. Unfortunately, Tony, that goal came 2 seconds too late.
That's right.
And it wiped out the second penalty as well.
That's exactly.
If it had come 2 seconds earlier, there'd still be a power play underway. But they're back to...
Number 16, Frank Malone.
Now the puck left in front of the net. Hirsch to try to cover it up. He does as Fly races in on it.
Number 4, Steve Jakes, and number 14,
Jakes. And Barnes getting the assist. And we'll have a face-off inside the Kamloops blue line.
That's Jakes also. I believe that's his 3rd or 4th consecutive game where he scored a point. Steve Jakes, as far as defense goes, as I mentioned a couple of games ago, the Americans needed a little bit of help from the points, and they are surely getting it from Murray DeVal and Steve Jakes. And we've got a penalty coming up, Kirk.
And it comes to, it's on Kim Deck, and I think that's going to be a roughing penalty as well. And it comes at the 3:57 mark.
Number 10, Kim Deck, 2 minutes for delay of game at 3:57.
Okay, the Americans on their second power play of the night now. They're 1 for 1. Malone with Barnes and Spenrath. Back to Jakes it goes at the point. Jakes to LeBrun. Back to LeBrun left on the blue line. Looks at a shot. No. Finds Barnes in the slot. Barnes to Jakes. Jakes tries it and shoots. And it's rebounded off into the, or caught by Corey Hirsch.
Corey Hirsch is sure getting a workout early down here. The Americans are applying the pressure, and that is because they have had nothing but power play opportunities. And Coach Ken Hitchcock for the Kamloops Blazers, he doesn't appreciate that a whole bunch. He doesn't like to see it coming right out, and especially in a visitor's building, to be down with one guy and being always on the power play killing opportunities.
Well, one thing
about
it, One thing about it, the Blazers are doing to themselves what the Americans have done to themselves so many times, and that is started out killing a bunch of penalties, and by the end of the second period, they're flat out of gas.
That's right.
Barnes on the face-off against Harrison. And immediately a whistle. Face-off in the circle to the right of Corey Hirsch.
Power play unit out there. Stu Barnes, Greg Spenrath, Frank Malone at the forward, Steve Jakes and Sean LeBrun at the back points, and a very, very powerful one for the Americans.
Moving LeBrun back to the blue line was a good move for John Oliver because it gave him better puck handling. Barnes on the draw, and a stick save by Corey Hirsch.
And what a save by Corey Hirsch, and that's exactly the play that they work on. That's where Stu Barnes picks up the puck, Greg Spenrath heads right to the net, and he took that puck and shot it, and for somehow, I can't believe Corey Hirsch was laid his stick down, and the puck just stopped right in between the stick and ice. And
why it didn't just jump right over the stick, yeah, I don't know.
And you see Greg's reaction as soon as he shot it.
It will be, once again, on the power play now. Barnes with Spenrath and Malone. LeBrun and Jakes at the blue line. Face off, back into the corner. Malone chases in after it. Malone brings it out, tries to get it around behind the net. Now it's shot back along the dasher board, and Jakes can't get to it. LeBrun will have to race back for the Americans. LeBrun will wheel in behind his own net and stop there as the Americans set the line rush. Now it comes to Malone. Malone ahead to Barnes. Barnes, headman right to Jakes. Jakes losing it at the blue line. Has it slapped back into neutral ice, and the Americans will have to chase back for it. Ferland looks at it and will play it to Sean LeBrun. LeBrun in his own zone. Gets it into neutral ice. Shoots it ahead for Barnes, a two-line pass. Sean LeBrun just shy of the blue line, the Americans' own blue line, when he took the pass, and Barnes a ways over the red line.
This is how important Stu Barnes is to this Tri-City club. And he played his 100th game against Victoria, and in those 100 games in his career in the WHL, he has got 63 goals and 88 assists for 151 points. That means in 100 games, the guy is averaging 1.5 points a game. That means they don't get shut out too often.
Does that explain to you why the NHL scouts are salivating over him? Face-off won by the Kamloops Blazers. Shot back into the Tri-City zone. Behind the net, Duval plays it out now to Jakes. Jakes with it. Feeds it off the boards right side to Delcourt. Back to Jakes. Jakes right between the skates of an on-rushing Blazer. Goes left to Duval. Duval wheels into the Kamloops zone. Takes it along the boards. Left to the net. Back up to Barnes now at the point. Barnes right to Jakes. Jakes a shot. And it's put right up into the crowd. Look out for that one. As Corey Hirsch just tilts that stick a little bit and puts that one away.
Gentleman up there in the T section decides to grab it away from the guy that got hit. I guess they stunned him a little bit, so he reached down and picked his pocket and got a souvenir for it.
Well, one thing about it, you don't give up many rebound goals when they're up in Section U.
That's right. Ooh, that was a fast one.
36 seconds remaining in the power play for the Americans. They are 1 for 1 on power plays tonight. Face-off goes back to Jakes. Jakes shoots it into the zone. And here comes Rennie. Rennie drives in, feeds right side. Delcourt, they had a 2-on-1, and Dilly couldn't get his stick onto the puck. Back out now to Jakes. Shoots it across the ice left to Barnes. Barnes with it. Back up to Duval. 20 seconds left in the power play. Duval at the blue line to Steve Jakes. Back to Duval. Murray Duval looks at a shot, takes it, smothered up front, gets it to Barnes. A shot, blocked by Hirsch, another one. From the left side, Delcourt will try to wrap around. Has it knocked away, comes out to the blue line. Kept in play by Jakes, 4 seconds, dumped into the left corner. Now right back toward the net, Delcourt races in after it, Hirsch slaps it away. Now shot into neutral ice. Kim Deck stepping out for it, but it goes back into the Tri-City zone, and the Blazers in a quick shift change. Headman pass for Delcourt, nearly stolen away. The Americans have it. Left to Rennie. Rennie goes right for Jakes. Jakes nearly loses it. Rennie gets it back. Rennie shoots it ahead to Delcourt. Off his stick, and McClelland has it for the Blazers. Here comes McClelland. Feeds left side for Cruz. Paul Cruz across the blue line. Fans it. His shot is Barnes. Races in behind him and takes it away. Stu Barnes leaving it for Rennie. Oh, Barnes just got pounded against the board. Barnes, now he's knocked down one more time. Back behind the net, Duval. Barnes wants a piece of somebody. Puck comes out right of the net to McClelland. McClelland shoots it in again. around to the right. Now Barnes with it behind the net. Here comes Barnes. Barnes, 4-on-3, left to Rennie, and a whistle.
Offsides. Boy, there's some hitting going on. Greg Delcourt right now is looking at Bertuzzi, and they're jawing a little bit down there in front of Corey Hirsch, and the linesmen are there to break it up. But boy, are they hitting.
What, did Stu Barnes get hit, or did he get hit down there? They just pounded him into the boards.
Put him back in Spruce Grove, Alberta up there, huh?
Stu, what day is it?
1983.
13-10. That's usually the question, incidentally, that the trainer asks when he goes out to ask a player who might have been shaken up. What day is it? What's the score? Where are you? Count the fingers. McNutt on the face-off against Phil Huber inside the Tri-City blue line. McNutt winning the draw. Back into neutral ice. Rick Fry chasing after it, but the Blazers shoot it back into the Tri-City zone. Ferland signals icing, and Cudowitz back to touch it for the icing call.
And that was a good call on Frank Ferland, because the linesmen were looking at each other when that was the case. When that puck went back behind the goal line back there, and Frank reminded the linesman.
That's right. He really called it.
That's exactly what he did. That's a good call. That's what you get with a real headsy type of goaltender, a leader out there. Frank Ferland.
The boys ought to give Frank a whistle. Right side of to the right of the net. Face off in the Kamloops zone. It'll be McNutt with Fry and Nibbs. Puck shot toward the net. Nibbs can't, or Spenrath, and he can't get to it. Puck shot back out along the blue line to Krause. Krause's drive from the right side. Scores! They score! I think Spenrath gets it. The shot came from the right point.
I believe so. I think Greg Spenrath is going to get that. And boy, this is exactly what the Tri-City Americans needed. They jump out to a 2-0 lead in the first period with 12:52 to go. And you can't sit back on this team, though. The Kamloops Blazers are too good a team to sit back on a 2-0 lead.
No. You got to bury them. If you don't bury them, you don't win.
That's right.
Tri-City Americans, second goal! Scored by number 27, Greg Spenrath. He is in from number 2, Krause.
All right.
Krause gets the assist. On the face-off, it goes into the Tri-City zone. Back behind the net. And it's taken away by Duval. Duval chases it off into the corner. Being worked over there by Daryl Sador. They get it ahead now. Sador with it. Tried to center it. He did. Got it to Shazowski. His shot wide of the net. Another drive. And Ferland just gets his stick on it. Right side, Shazowski with it. Back out front. Almost stolen away. Now into neutral ice. Here come the Americans as Dirksen trying to get to the puck. Gets it to Robertson. Robertson takes it in right of the net. Robertson takes a big hit. Puck slides out. A drive from the right side wide of the net. Krause with it. Krause's shot. Robertson trying to poke it in as Corey Hirsch will cover it up.
Boy, a lot of fast and furious action right down there in front of Corey Hirsch once again. The first half of this first period has been all down here in the Kamloops Blazers defensive zone, and that's great for the Tri-City Americans because they need to show some offensive spurt, and especially coming off of a 9-day vacation where you need to test these legs out right away and jump out to a 2-0 lead. That means Kamloops has really got to work extra tough, especially in the loud and very full Tri-City Coliseum tonight.
Yeah, this place is indeed full. Face off to the left of, or right of Corey Hirsch. Your left as you look on. It is Frank Malone to take the draw with Barnes and LeBrun as Barnes got chased out. It is Malone against Pat Bingham. Up now, Malone gets chased out, and there's Stu Barnes. Barnes pointing, moving people around, moves LeBrun around a little bit, and loses the face-off to Harrison. And down goes Corey Anderson. Anderson went down in a heap, and we get a whistle. Anderson landed on the puck, I believe. He looks like he might be a little bit shaken up there.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be Barnes now against Ryan Harrison, number 19. For the Blazers. Blazers in blue with the orange and white numerals and trim. Americans in white. It comes on its point. It comes on the face-off to LeBrun. A drive, and it's blocked by Hirsch.
What a glove save by Corey Hirsch.
That was a quick shot.
Sean LeBrun takes a shot out at about 35 feet out, just off to the, let's see, the left-hand side if you're looking from Corey Hirsch's, or excuse me, the right side. And Sean LeBrun drilled a shot, and it was a glove save. Excellent save.
Barnes again with Malone and LeBrun. Sherstenka and Jakes, the D-men. Barnes losing the draw, has it taken off his stick by Needham. Needham gets it to Huber. Here comes Phil Huber. 3-on-3. They try to center it to the Blazers.
And we got a penalty coming up.
Down goes Linford. It'll be a hooking call on somebody.
Sean LeBrun.
It'll go against the Americans.
And I believe Sean LeBrun's going to sit down for a couple minutes.
It'll be the first penalty against the Tri-City Americans, and it comes at 8:18 of the period.
He really hooked Mike Needham there as he was heading towards the slot.
Tri-City penalty.
Yep.
To number 18, Sean LeBrun. 2 minutes for hooking at 8:18.
Well, LeBrun will sit and give the Blazers their first power play of the night. Face-off will come in the circle, or top of the circle, to the right of Frank Furlan, your left as you look on from center ice. Won by the Americans, shot the length of the ice. Hirsch goes back to stop it, and he'll play it out there to McClellan. McClellan back behind the net. McClellan will start the rush for the Blazers. Feeds it out left side to Schmidt. Schmidt goes ahead to Shazowski. He drops it back, and the Americans break it up. Kraus shooting it back into the Kamloops zone. It'll go around behind the Blazers net. Wheeling back in for to Schmidt. Don Schmidt out off the boards. Plays it out now. Well, tried to get it to Needham. Needham had to turn around to get it. Needham brings it up. Drops the pass back now to Don Schmidt. Schmidt wheeling around in his own zone. The Americans steal it away. Jakes on a breakaway. Jakes with it. Jakes is tied up, hooked,
Great
and
hit,
jumped on his face. Puck goes down into the left corner. Needham races in after it. Mike Needham for the Blazers from Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta. Needham feeds the pass right side to Shazowski, right back to Needham. Whips it into the corner. Furlan will stop it behind the net. Leaves it there for Jakes, and Jakes will blast it back out to the point. Played off the boards now. On the right boards and dump back into neutral ice. By Spenrath. Good defensive work by Spenrath and Delcourt as Delly races in for it. Now back for it is Don Schmidt. Schmidt to start the rush for the Blazers. 42 seconds remaining in the penalty to LeBrun. Now Duval takes it back for the Americans and whips one back off the board. Kamloops having a terrible time penetrating the Tri-City zone. Back behind the net goes Deck. Kim Deck to try his luck now. Feeds the pass out left to Brian Chance. Chance has it stolen away by Delcourt. Delly takes the hit, but back for it is McClellan. McClellan plays it out right to Bingham. Bingham goes left now to McGowan, and it's dumped right back again by the Americans. Great defensive play by Tri-Cities. Now here comes McClellan up to the blue line. Feeds a pass to the right side to Cal McGowan. Has it knocked off his stick once again, and here comes Spenrath. Spenrath, 2-on-1 with McNutt, and it's broken up beautifully there by Kim Deck. Penalties over. LeBrun's back into play. 0 for 1 on the power play. Now here comes LeBrun with it. LeBrun plays it to the boards. Out for Kutowitz. No, LeBrun takes it back. Feeds the pass right side to Dirksen. Devin takes it into the right corner. Dirksen racing it after it. Leaves it behind. And we have a fight. We may have a fight. Dirksen and high stick is the call. Dirksen and number 9, Bingham. And I think Bingham is going to get the penalty here.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. He went in there with the lumber way high, way above the shoulder, and Devin Dirksen took it right in the chin and knocked his helmet off. And Devin wanted to get in there a little John and make sure that he understood that you can't do that, but referee Hansen was right there to call it. He's going to sit down for a couple minutes and think about it.
Well, that'll be power play number 3 for the Tri-City Americans now.
You know, Kurt, during that power play there, the Americans showed some great defense, but really the ones that really killed that power play opportunity for the Blazers was the Blazers themselves. Very sloppy passing. You can really see where the bus legs have shown up on the Kamloops Blazers.
Yeah, they're not usually a bad puck handling team.
Very sloppy passing.
Sold out Tri-Cities Coliseum tonight. Boy, they got them hanging from the rafters, Tony.
Excellent. Good to see the support that the Tri-City fans are doing here.
Face-off, Harrison against Barnes to the right of the Kamloops net. Now Barnes may be asked to leave the circle.
Well, that's okay. Bring in Frank Malone. Now watch this. Frank Malone.
Here comes Malone.
The Motown Malone.
Out of Milford, Michigan. The only American. He wins the draw. Back to Jakes to the right point. LeBrun, top of the slot. LeBrun starts and shoots! And it goes wide of the net to the right side. Malone shoots it back to Jakes to LeBrun. LeBrun again, top of the slot. LeBrun a drive! And it's blocked out front again, wide of the net. Chase back into the corner. Spenrath with it. Keeping it in play for Jakes. Jakes shoots it into the corner. Malone races in after it. Malone plays it around to Barnes. Here comes Barnes. Back out to LeBrun now. Sean LeBrun with it. On the power play, the Americans. Minute and a half to go. Jakes with the puck. Right side. Back to LeBrun. LeBrun's drive. Blocked
There
out.
it scores! Greg Spenrath.
This one from Sean LeBrun.
Sean LeBrun takes a shot at the right point. His Corey Hirsch bounces right off an uncontrolled rebound, and right there for the rebound, where he should be, number 27, the captain of the Tri-City Americans, Drake Spenrath.
And that is Spenrath's second goal of the night.
Number 10 for the season.
And that's with, remember that Spenner didn't play the first 10 games or so. Having gotten his debut as a radio pro announcer. Right? Fortunately, we were able to cure him of that and get him back on tape.
Well, this is just what the Americans needed to do.
Oh,
they
boy.
came right off the Christmas break and have now scored 3 goals. And this ends up their 5-game homestand. And in this homestand, by the way, Kurt, the Tri-City Americans are 2-1-1. And since they've been back and started playing here on November 20th, the Americans are playing over 500. They are 6-5-2. And remember that 5-12 start. Boy, I'll tell you what, getting rid of that Eastern road trip swing early has really helped these guys. Now they're playing over 500, and they can really get a lot of momentum heading towards the second half of the season.
Second power play goal of the night, too, by the way.
See, that's what's really all about. These guys are really gelling now, and it's starting to show.
Now in goal for the Blazers, Dean Cook, the Cookie Monster. That's the end of Dean Cook's night off, shall we say, on the face-off. Puck shot down to Cook. He gloves it, dumps it into the left corner, but Rennie's there for the Americans. The Roondog has it stripped away from him by the Blazers and taken off his stick. Fry tried to get it as it goes back to neutral ice. Here comes Sador, Daryl Sador, dumping it in left of the Tri-Cities net. Racing it after it is Krause. Krause plays it back to Dirksen. Devin Dirksen. Dirksen with it. Shoots a pass into neutral ice. Tried to get it to Rennie. Rennie couldn't get to it. Nails Creighton to the boards. And it goes back now to Krause in the Tri-City zone. Krause feeds a pass into neutral ice. And it slides right in front of the net. Would have gone across the crease had Dean Cook not played it. And he whips it around. It will not be icing because it was headed for the net. And here comes Sador. Sador jumping into the Tri-City zone. Ferland blocks it. We have a delayed penalty coming up.
Yes, we do.
And it will be, I think,
Against the Americans. Rob Krause.
interference will be the call.
The KK combination is not out there tonight, and this is the first game that Rob's been back in after he sat out his disciplinary game against Victoria. Shane Cole is ill tonight, so the KK combination is not out there, but Murray DeVal is playing opposite Rob Krause, and well, I tell you what, Murray DeVal fills in very nicely in that combo.
Second power play of the night for the Kamloops Blazers. The Americans are 2 for 3 on the power play. Delcourt on the face-off against Bertuzzi. Puck shot back into neutral ice by the Tri-City Americans. Fed left now to Don Schmidt. Schmidt, headman pass for Shantz. Shantz gets it left to Needham. Needham racing in left to the net.
Great check.
Benrad hammers Shantz Needham into the board. And the puck comes out left to Paul Cruz. Cruz to Schmidt. And his shot is put away by Ferland. Boy, did he put it away up in section HH.
And you know, that
all the way to the roof.
That almost crawled in the air conditioning duct up there. What a punch by the Captain Crunch, Greg Spenrath. Put him into the corner and just shattered his stick. That's how hard of a check that was into the board.
I imagine he thinks that wasn't the only thing that was shattered. 7:28 to go. First period here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. I'm Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott. The right side, the face-off will come to Ferland's right in the face-off circle. Your left as you look on from center ice. I want to compliment the production crew for Columbia Cable. They're watching the cable cast. They have just been doing a big league job here at Tri-Cities Coliseum.
Fantastic. Everywhere I go, I get complimented by the way these guys are doing it. You guys are doing a tremendous job.
Now Delcourt to face off against Shantz. Puck is down. Knocked into the corner. Racing it after it is Kotowitz. Cutter rips it around the boards. Comes off the dasher board to Deck. Right at the right point. Shot in behind the Tri-Cities net. Now Jakes Plays it out to the left point. Schmidt stopping it there. Schmidt losing it to Delcourt. And Dilly dumps it into the Kamloops end. It'll rebound right out in front of Dean Cook. Cook leaving it behind now for Kim Deck. Deck shoots it out left side for Schmidt. Headman pass goes to Huber. Huber 2-on-1. Huber's shot smothered out front with it on the right side. Needham back up to the point. Deck. Deck goes left. Schmidt. Schmidt tried to slide it in. Won't go. Rebound goes down to Rennie. Rennie to Delcourt, and Kelly will rip it the length of the ice. It bounces in on Cook. Cook will leave it there for Kim Deck. That one didn't look like it'd been in a freezer quite long enough.
Check.
Deck gets upended by McNutt. Headman pass goes right to Shazowski. Shazowski stripped off the puck by Murray Duval. They race in after it. Puck goes out right side. Comes top of the blue line. McClellan, the shot wide of the net left side. Out to Schmidt. Schmidt's shot again right of the net. Comes back out to the point now for Huber, and it's played away by McNutt. McNutt chasing it back into neutral ice. 29 seconds remaining in the penalty. Puck shot left now to Buchanan. Buchanan taken off left of the net by Scherstenka. He and Fry paste him into the boards. Now it's shot down left to David Shazowski. Shazowski to Huber. Huber left of the net. His shot wide again and goes out to the right point. Kept in play by the Blazers. Now lost right side. 3 seconds, 2 seconds in the penalty. Top of the slot, it goes to Creighton. Creighton knocked off of it by McNutt. McNutt headman pass to Krause. Krause with it. Krause to Scherstenka, one-on-one. Shot, block puck. Dean Cook comes out to LeBrun. LeBrun played it into the corner. Oh, Dan Scherstenka had a clean breakaway, but you got to do it right to take advantage of Dean Cook.
That's right.
3-0 wrap-around. Well, they did it right. It was Barnes. And that makes it 4-0.
Oh, boy, they need that. Oh, that's great.
Well, you've had the feeling for some time, even though they were winning 8-4 games, you've had the feeling that they were going to break out one of these nights and just crush somebody, and they're on the way to doing it tonight.
That's right.
4-0.
Ken Hitchcock is over there, and I mean barking. And if you've not seen Ken Hitchcock, he's the type of guy that when he barks, I think your hair starts flying back on those old cartoons you see.
Well, I'm just a little tiny feller, and
Tri-City Americans' fourth goal.
He's my size or better.
Scored by number 14, Stu Barnes. Barnes unassisted at 14:36.
No assist on the play, and the faceoff is tied up at neutral ice. Now taken in there by Malone. Shot into the net. Wide left as Cook plays it off into the left corner. Big hit there by LeBrun on Bertuzzi. Puck wheels around behind the net. We have a whistle.
Looks like we have a penalty going against the Blazers. Another opportunity for the Tri-City Americans on a power play.
Kamloops 0 for 2 on power plays. This will be number 4 for the Americans. As Bertuzzi heads for the penalty box.
Kamloops penalty to number 12, Ed Bertuzzi. 2 minutes for charging at 14:53.
I thought that looked a little bit like the basketball symbol for charging. The referee doing the same thing.
Well, Bertuzzi's had a little Christmas spirit still left in him. Thought it was a Visa card.
What?
A little charging there.
Oh, I see. 5:07 to go in the first period. Don't do that. Fakes off, center for Spenrath. Can't do anything with it. Out to Jakes. Now left to LeBrun. Back to Jakes. Top of the slot. Jakes with it along the blue line. Back to LeBrun, left point. LeBrun feeds it down to Barnes. Here comes Barnes. Barnes in the slot. Spenrath couldn't get wood on it. Back into neutral ice it goes. Americans on their 4th power play. They're 2 for 3 so far. Puck goes ahead to Spenrath. Now taken out by Barnes. Barnes will wheel back into his own zone. Feeds it left now to Jakes. Jakes will start to bring it up. Headman to Spenrath. Spenner with it. Looks at a pass, shoots it in along the boards. Goes into the left corner. Malone racing it after it. But it's shot back out of there by the Blazers. Back into the Tri-City zone. Ferland will bring it out. And hit almost right through LeBrun's head to Spenrath. And now Spenrath gets it in. Barnes will chase it into the corner. Dean Cook helping it on around the boards when it comes out to Jakes. Jakes tried to center for Spenrath. Spenner couldn't get his stick on it, but Barnes, checked out of there by the referee. Spenrath gets it to Barnes now. Barnes with it along the boards. Barnes plays it left to Spenrath. Back now to Stu Barnes, out to LeBrun. LeBrun right, Jakes a drive! Wide of the net right side, and the Blazers shoot it back into neutral ice. Wheeling back forward is Sean LeBrun. LeBrun plays it out off the boards to Barnes. Barnes head to Spinrath, and we have a whistle. 38 seconds remaining in the power play. Go ahead, Tony.
Kirk, coming up at our first intermission, we have made some very big national press across the United States, and we have one and only Eric Schmidt, a reporter from the New York Times, that will be our first intermission guest. He'll be talking with us about the human interest story that has developed here, why the fans have generated so much interest here, because the area has been so depressed, and he'll be here with us.
38 seconds remaining in the penalty. Face off right to Murray Duval. Duval with it, almost losing it right in front of Ferland. That'll get him a little talking to. As it comes to Rennie, 2-on-3 to Delcourt. Back to Rennie in the corner. Rennie, lost it, but Delcourt there to McNutt now. 16 seconds remaining. A drive from the point. Taken by Duval. Blocked out front. Now Duval takes it into the slot, shoots across the face of the net, comes out along the point to Cutterwitz. Cutter back to Delcourt. Delcourt wheels into the slot. A shot! Scores! Delcourt!
Holy cow, they're pulling the stops out tonight.
That is the 5th goal for the Tri-City Americans. Another power play goal.
And I mean, there was 1 second left. 1 second left on the penalty, and they got it.
It comes at 16:53. Yeah, you're right, there was. And we'll get the calls. He beat Dean Cook high that time.
Right
it came into the slot. It was a backhand. He put it in the elevator, pushed the up button, and dumped it into the upper right-hand corner.
Tri-City Americans' 5th goal!
Oh, do you love that?
Oh, that's great.
Scored by number 10, Ray Delcourt. The assist from number 3, Kelly Cutterwitz, and number 11, Murray Duval.
Well, both the defensemen getting into the act that time. For the Americans is Robertson, loses the draw and then gets upended by the Kamloops Blazers. Puck shot into the Tri-City zone. Backboard is Ruck. Ruck wheels it around to Nibbs. Calvin Nibbs evades the hit, and it goes to the right along the boards. Nibbs, headman for Robertson. Kevin can't get the stick to it. And backboard is Creighton. Creighton for the Blazers. Feeds a pass right side. Has it knocked away by Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi starts up along the boards, but Ruck takes it away from him. Dumps it back into the Blazer zone. Wheeling behind his own net is Creighton. Creighton plays it out along the boards. Now it's shot back into neutral ice, and Krause is there for the Americans.
Penalty.
And it was played off a high stick, I believe.
Yeah, that's it. That's going to be the call. Face off on the other side of the red line. Right in between. Well, actually, it might be right at the red line.
5-0, the Tri-City Americans. This has just been a downpour of Americans' goals. 348, a power play goal. 708, a full-strength goal. 1116, a power play goal. 1436, a full-strength goal. 1653, a power play goal. The Americans, are you ready for this? 3 of 4 on the power play tonight.
And have never led 5-0 in the first period at all this year.
Or anywhere, or any other time else, for that matter. First period, second period, overtime, or anywhere. Face-off, won by the Americans. Rick Fry with it. Fry feeds it left to Spinrath. Spinner goes right to Jakes. Jakes with it. Steve Jakes shoots it into the Kamloops end left. Rebound comes out to Fry. Fry can't get to it. Needham wheels back for it. Now Scherstenka. Dan Scherstenka from the left boards. Has it taken away by Needham. Needham brings it ahead into neutral ice. Headman pass goes to Shantz. Shantz ahead to Shazowski. Shazowski shot wide of the net. Rebound comes out. Ferland checks it away. And it goes into the right corner where Rick Fry shoots it back out. Now Dirksen loses his stick in a tremendous hit. Dirksen will go over and pick the stick back up as play goes around him. Back into neutral ice. Deck shoots it into the crowd. It went off of somebody's stick and shot up into the crowd.
Well, Devin was about stripped naked there. Lost his helmet and his stick, his balance.
Boy, he really got hit. They about knocked him right out of his skates that time. Minute 47 to go in the period, and the score is 5-0. Tri-City's leading the Kamloops Blazers.
That's right. You're not hearing it wrong. It is 5-0.
Well, a reminder, there is a bus going to Victoria on the morrow, leaves at 7 o'clock in the morning. You need ticket information. You can get that If you're in the Coliseum listening to us, tickets are available. There are about 7 or 8 left now at the concession stand or at the souvenir stand behind Section X in the Coliseum as the puck goes into the Kamloops zone. Back to the blue line. Blazers dig it out. Shoot it across left side. Buchanan dumping it into the Tri-City zone. Right of the net. Kotowitz plays it out for the Americans. Minute 23. A shot! Wide of the net. Blocked by Duval out front. Turnaround whacked in once again as Duval tangles with a Kamloops Blazer. Buchanan down underneath. Buchanan tying up Barnes now. Barnes gives him the butt end of the stick upside the head for his trouble. Now Kotowitz is undercut and dumped as LeBrun goes back to steal the puck at neutral ice. Has it knocked away by the Blazers. That's Don Schmidt. Shot ahead in Malone there. And Malone and LeBrun. LeBrun to Barnes. Here comes Barnes. Breakaway Barnes. A shot. Rebounds off the glass behind the net. And it comes out along the boards to the Blazers. Now here comes Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi gets it left side to McGowan and offside against the Blazers. I'll tell you what, this is turning into a rough game.
Yeah, that's right. Kamloops is getting really frustrated, too, so don't be too surprised if you start seeing some punches on a little few scraps coming up, because what happens is Kamloops, for one, is going to get one heck of a talking to from Ken Hitchcock.
He's got the roto-rooter going over there already. I can see it. He's over there pulling the starting court.
That's right.
Ooh. McNutt with McGowan. McGowan wins the face-off, but is back to the Americans in the Tri-City zone. Now they get it ahead to Spenramp. Spenramp shoots a pass to Delcourt. Delly fans on it. Gives up the body, trying to get to it. Can't. McGowan with it. 25 seconds remaining. Puck goes into the right corner. Nope. Now it's shot along the boards. Now it's aired in the Tri-City zone. Ferland makes like a center fielder. He'll catch it and freeze it on his knee. That one went high in the air. Ferland came out and looked at it, adjusted his hat, flipped down the sunglasses, and made the catch.
That's right. He's got that black stuff under his eyes, too, and I think they were tagging up from third. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
It's Mrs. Mason's giant cinnamon roll.
Well, it's really good for the fans to see this, and it's really excellent to see the support. You're right. They were sold out 2 days ago, and that shows you the type of support the Tri-City fans has for this. Keep it up, Tri-Cities. You're doing great.
16 seconds remaining.
Bruce Hornsby in the range.
Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott. Don't forget Bruce Hornsby in the range coming up a little bit later. We'll be see if we can't arrange to talk with Mike Pinaw, who has responsibility for non-hockey promotions here at the Coliseum. Now McNutt chased out of the penalty box. You hear a little Bruce Hornsby in the background as Delcourt goes in to take the face-off against Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi wins it. Goes out to the point. Schmidt plays it along left side. 11 seconds go. And the Blazers losing it at the blue line. Shazowski back into his own zone. Headman pass goes ahead to Shands. Shands, a shot blocked by Ferland. Rebound comes out to Delcourt, and time runs out as Jelly rips one the length of the ice.
That was a great save.
That certainly was, and that's exactly what the Americans wanted to do. And you hear the fans react. 5 goals for the Americans in that first period. At the end of the first period, the score: Tri-City Americans 5, Kamloops Blazers nothing. We'll be back in 2 minutes on this KOTY American Hockey Broadcast.
Live Sunday afternoon, the World Wrestling Federation presents the Royal Rumble. In the main event, it's every man for himself. 30 superstars battle it out, including Macho Man Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, and Ted DiBiase, all live for the Summit in Houston, Sunday afternoon, January 15th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, exclusively on pay-per-view. Don't get shut out. Order now. Contact your local cable system for complete details.
Back once again at Tri-City's Coliseum. Tony, it looks to me like Santa Claus spent a lot of time hauling around Tri-City American stuff, because I sure see a lot of new American jerseys and hats and this and that and the other thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, they were also very good to him as far as shots on goal in that first period. Now, this is not a mistake, folks. The Tri-City Americans outshot Kamloops, of course, in that first period, 27-8. 27-8. Some games, there's not 27 shots the whole 3 periods. They got all 27 in the first period.
Well, and of that, 5 of them went in the net. It will be Delcourt with, LeBrun's got a 2-minute penalty to serve, and I sure don't know what that's about, but it'll be a power play for the Kamloops Blazers. It will be their third, and we did not get an announcement. Maybe you can check with Barry next door there and find out about it, as the Blazers win the draw. Wheeling back into his own zone is Don Schmidt. Schmidt for Kamloops. Wheels back into his own zone and will start the rush. Don Schmidt bringing it out, dumping it into the Tri-City zone. Bench minor.
Yeah, delay a game.
Okay, because they were not on the ice.
That's it.
And it's shot from the point, wide of the net. Drive came from McClelland, went to the right, now stolen out of there by Delcourt. And a good move by Delcourt to slap at the length of the ice. Dean Cook, the Cookie Monster, comes out, leaves it for McClelland. Darwin McClelland, rather. He's bringing it ahead for the Blazers, right up the middle. Takes it to the right boards. Into the corner goes Rob Krause, and we have a whistle.
And Ken Hitchcock is bringing some of his emotion that he had in the locker room right out there and giving number 24, Darwin McClelland, a little bit of his mind, a little extension of the first intermission.
I believe that's, around our house, that's called giving him what for. And he certainly did. Hitch is not a happy person.
No.
Over there right now.
No, and when you hold the highest career winning percentage in WHL, you don't like to lose like this bad either.
Rennie on the face-off, and Jake slaps it back into the Kamloops zone. Blazers race back for it, but Nibbs racing in on McClelland. Puck goes around behind the net now as the Blazers leave it, and it comes out to Darwin McClelland from Sylvan Lake, BC. Almost checked it away from himself. Now it goes to Schmidt. Plays broken up by the Americans. They get it ahead now to Shantz. Brian Shantz, cross-ice pass. Right side it goes to Shazowski. Leaves behind for Huber. Huber shoots it into the corner. Krause wheels in after it. And it's shot back ahead now to Nibbs. Nibbs ripping one along the boards. It will go the length of the ice. That one, I don't know, that squeezed through between the skates, I think, of Darwin McClelland. And back for it are the Kamloops Blazers. Blazers bring it out into neutral ice now. Puck shot off the boards, right side to Pat Bingham. Bingham and Krause tie up with it. And it's tied up along the boards in front of the Kamloops bench. Bingham, a 20-year-old out of Vancouver, along with Rod Krause.
You know what the Americans have to do is consistently apply the pressure like they did in that first period so that they don't fall asleep and, start getting a little too cocky. Remember, against Victoria, they were ahead 6-2 going into the third period.
11 seconds remaining in the bench minor, being served by assistant captain Sean LeBrun. Barnes with Malone now, and Duval and Kutowitz at the point. Barnes winning the draw, but it goes right to Deck. Tim Deck shooting it in behind the Tri-Cities net. All the way around to the right point. Stephen Ewell tried to get a shot away. Couldn't do it. Goes right to McGowan. McGowan takes it in. Perlin blocks him! Centered once again, and the Americans are there. Kutowitz to Barnes. Penalty is over. Barnes across the blue line for LeBron. LeBron shoots! And it's blocked by Dean Cook right into the corner. McGowan with it for the Blazers. They bring it out to neutral ice, and Kutowitz rips one back into the Kamloops zone. Stephen Ewell with it along the boards. Barnes tees him up and can't get a hit on him. And now the puck goes to Bertuzzi, and Bertuzzi has it stripped away by Barnes. Now to Deck. Deck dumping it into the right corner. Perlin will leave it behind for Murray Duval. Duval with it. Headman pass for Malone. Malone to Barnes. Barnes with a breakaway. Barnes is shot. And all he had was a little bitty slice of the net and couldn't get to it. Puck shot up in the air, gloved by the Blazers. It comes down to Creighton. Corey Creighton has it knocked away by Barnes. Barnes with it across the blue line. Stu Barnes with it at the point. Checked from behind and knocked flat on his face. Back now is Krause. Leaves it right for Duval. Duval back to Krause. Racing in is Corey Anderson. He puts a hit on Krause. Puck shot up to the blue line, and LeBron is wiped out there by number 15, Buchanan. Puck shot to the right side into the Kamloops zone. Boy, that was rough. Off the boards, and Krause will chase in after it. Krause will go in, touch it for the Americans around behind his own net. His pass knocked away by the Blazers goes to Fry. Don't pass it in front of the net, Rob. Back into neutral ice. Barnes with it. Barnes gets it ahead to Dirksen. Dirksen losing it from behind to Linford. Phil Linford feeds a pass off left side now to Needham. Needham checked away by Barnes. Shot back by Duval, and Needham gloves it, knocks it down, but it's 3-on-3. Needham left side. Tried to center it. Right there is Rennie to steer it away. Here comes Rennie, 1-on-2. The Dogger shoots, and it rips around behind the net. Rick Fry races in after it. Fry shoots it in behind the net. Blazers with it. Back behind the Kamloops net. Now Schmidt brings it out. Feeds a pass ahead left to Bingham. Bingham with it. 3-on-2. Bingham across the blue line. Bingham behind for Huber. Shoots wide of the net right side. Furlan came out and took away the angle. He couldn't see it. And there's Rennie now. Rennie getting it ahead to Fry. Fry plays it off the glass. Glove by Linford. Linford dribbles one down into the corner. They try to center it right of the net. Center it. A shot blocked. Another one, and it's blocked, and Jakes has it. Furlan, Jakes, and Devin Dirksen doing the work. Here comes Rennie, 1-on-4. Rennie leaves it off to the board. Goes into the right side of the Kamloops zone. Schmidt working on Rennie with Sador. Now Sador tries to head man. It's knocked away back to Sador. Here comes Sador. Shoots it into the Tri-City zone. Left side it goes. In for the American, Scherstenka. Races in after along with Trevor Sen. Scherstenka and Sen. They get behind to Jakes. Jakes shoots it back into neutral ice. And it'll go the length of the ice. It'll be icing when first touched by Kim Deck. And that'll bring it back to the Tri-City zone.
The Americans cannot be content with a 5-0 lead. They surely can't. And you can see that the Blazers have come out and they've played a little bit harder and a little more physical. And another thing, too, is that if the Blazers don't get a score, one or two right now, look for the Blazers to become very, very upset with themselves. They are Ken Hitchcock, more than that matter. He'd get those skates on and come out and start banging some heads. But they will get a little frustrated. And this is probably the best place in the world for the Americans to have a team get frustrated, because they like to get frustrated with them.
Face-off will come to Furlan's right, your left, as you look on from center ice. Won by the Americans. Kutowitz around behind the net. Kutowitz with it. Back behind his own zone, his own net. Reverses direction. Gets it to Sen. Sen ahead along the boards, and a shot back in by the Blazers. Back to Kutowitz. Kelly Kutowitz shoots at the length of the ice, and we'll have another icing call, I believe. No, Hirsch will play it. Plays it out along the boards. Would have been icing. Duval keeping it in play for the Americans. It goes in behind the Kamloops net. Blazers try to break it out. Headman pass goes to McGowan. Cal McGowan. McGowan gets it ahead now to Cruz. Cruz slides it across the slot, but he's checked off the play. Great play by Murray Duval. And here come the Americans now. Robertson. Robertson with Sen. 2-on-2. Sen to the right side. His pass smothered, but Nibbs is there to get it. Calvin Nibbs being smacked by Bertuzzi. Helmet is loose. Sen's got to get another helmet that fits better, as Nibbs and Bertuzzi tie up, along with Sen and Linford.
Little Trevor Sen, the little fire plug.
His helmet either doesn't fit or has a bad chin strap, or he would just as soon not have it on, one or the other. I'm not sure which.
He's the featured guest in the penalty box show after the game. Number 19, Trevor Sen for the Tri-City Americans.
From Saskatoon. Trevor Spokes traveled with the team almost through the entire road swing when now Furlan getting a new stick. And on the face-off to the right of Hirsch, kept in play by Krause. No, he loses along the boards, losing it to Buchanan. Here comes Buchanan, 2-on-3. That's checked away by Ruck. Good job by Ruck, centered. But Delcourt is there for the Americans to break it up. Shoots it ahead to Spenrath. Dumped into the Kamloops zone. Racing it after it is Schmidt. Schmidt for the icing call behind the net.
And that was also a great play by Rob Krause, number 2 for the Americans, who lost control of the puck at the blue line, knew there was a 2-on-1, and went straight after the open man that was heading in on Frank Furlan, got in front of him, blocked him off, and that made the puck a loose puck, and then they cleared it out. And that was a good play by Rob Krause to cover up his mistake, and went back and covered up where he should have been in the first place.
5-0 the score. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. Face-off will come to the left of Frank Furlan, his left-hand side, your right, if you look on from center ice. It'll be Huber against McNutt. McNutt with Spenrath and Delcourt. Now McNutt will be asked to leave the center circle. Delcourt will step in. Huber's being chased. And in will come Pat Bingham. Bingham, formerly a member of the New Westminster Bruins. The puck shot in by Schmidt to the right side of the net. Big hit by Bingham as they work in on Furlan. A backhand shot by Huber. And blocked by Furlan. What a job by the Magician.
Great saves down there. 2-3 shots on the goal, and Frank's right there to block it on his belly, on his side. Whatever it takes, Frank, the Magician, Furlan is going to do it.
The hockey term is they had him standing on his head, and he certainly was. As the scoreboard shows you, as the Roadrunner comes out with a wheelbarrow full of bricks and builds a brick wall in front of that net, and that's exactly what Furlan has done tonight. 5-0. Furlan working on his first, I don't want to even say the word, 13:27 to go in the second period. Face off to the left of the Magician. It is Barnes against Bingham, and a whistle. Now they're going to chase Bingham, and Huber's back in there to face off with Barnes. Comes back to the point, a shot! Furlan glove save! Holy cow, what a save on David Linford.
Those are the toughest ones to get to. Right off the face-off, your concentration has got to be right there where the puck was dropped, and there's so many people standing right down in front of the net in such a close range. He was right there to make a great glove save.
That was a big slap shot by David Linford. Linford 6'2", 200, and he can't belt it. LeBrun to face off against Hubert. This time it's broken up by Malone. Malone tried to shoot it back to LeBrun. Can't do it. Hubert with it. Hubert tried to center it. Now the Americans have it. Headman pass goes to Malone. 3-on-3. Malone across the blue line. Feeds right. Barnes to LeBrun, and Brunner can't get to it. Back down along the boards it goes. Left of the net. Schustanka has it taken off his stick by LeBrun. Back to Malone. Here comes Malone. Malone tried to get it over to LeBrun as he was tied up by Bingham. Now it's shot back into the neutral zone. It will be, I'm not sure if it'll be icing or not. No, Jakes back for it for the Americans. Jakes bringing it ahead. Up the boards to the right side. Tried to get it to Barnes. Lost it there to McClellan. Now Jakes has it. Jakes and Barnes, 2-on-2. Barnes to LeBrun, and Brunner can't get to it. Tied up again by number 25, Daryl Sidor. Sidor doing a good job for the Blazers. Now Kamloops with it. They shoot it ahead to Shazowski. Nice pass. Shazowski tied up by Jakes.
Great shot.
Loose at the blue line. Now LeBrun gets it. 2-on-1 to Malone. Here comes Malone with LeBrun. Tried to leave it behind, but the play's broken up by the Blazers. Little drop pass there and nobody home. Jakes with it. Jakes losing it to Shantz. Shantz wheels around wide of the net. Shantz with it. Leaves it to the right and picked up by Duval, and we'll get the call.
And I believe it's going to go on Steve Jakes for hooking. I believe after that pass bounced off of his stick, he got a little bit frustrated and started, or slashing, excuse me, I believe that's what would be the call. And he decided to slash after he made the mistake for the bouncing pass, and it really wasn't his fault. He could have controlled that pass, but it was just a little hot and in a short distance, and he just let his temper go out a little bit too much, and he'll sit down for 2 to think about it.
Only the second penalty of the period. The first, of course, a bench minor for delay against the Americans. Served by LeBrun. Now Jakes sits down at the 7:54 mark. 12:06 remaining in the second period. Americans leading 5-0 over the Kamloops Blazers. Blazers 0 for 3 on power plays. The Americans 3 for 4 on power plays. That tell you something?
Pretty good.
Spinrath with Shantz on the face-off. Puck still loose. Shot out to the blue line. Comes out to Creighton. Creighton tried to get it to Shazowski. Puck stolen away. Here come the Americans. Breakaway. Spinrath. Spinrath scores!
Greg Spinrath taking a shot on Torrey Hurt. Hits him right on the low side, on the stick side, goes into the net, and that's a hat trick for the captain, Greg Spinrath. That's his 3rd goal of the night.
And a shorthanded goal to boot. Penalty count, or the goal comes at 8:07.
And a great assist from Greg Delcourt as well.
Spinner
and the hats come out on the ice.
There they go. That's Spinrath's first hat trick of the season. And that makes makes it 6-0 over the Kamloops Blazers.
From number 10, Greg Delcourt.
Delcourt getting the assist. What a beautiful job. Face-off won by the Blazers. Shot back behind their net. Here they come. They're still on the power play. Short-handed goal for the Americans. They've done it every way. Headman pass goes left to Huber. Huber's shot blocked by Furlan. Furlan leaves it for Cutowitz. Around behind the net. Cutter plays it out to the glass. All the way down the length of the ice. Now Cook comes out for it. Shoots it right back in Delcourt's face. Gets it ahead to Shazowski. Shazowski and Huber. 2-on-1. Shazowski wipes out. Play broken up by McNutt. Here comes McNutt. 3-on-2. McNutt and Delcourt. Nutter able to dump it down into the Kamloops zone. Shazowski whips in behind his own net. McNutt takes him. McNutt working hard along the boards. Puck loose. Shot along the boards now to Murray Duval. Minute remaining in the power play. Duval tangles with Shantz in the corner. Puck taken out of there by Dirksen. Dirksen has it knocked away by Cruz. He upends Cruz. Puck loose right in front of the net. Taken away now by Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi lost off the puck. McNutt races in after it. Now to Creighton as they dribble it across in front of the goaltender. Blazers try to get it out. Now they get it ahead to Paul Cruz. The cruiser across the blue line. Cruz taking it in. Tried to center it. Schustanka there to block it away. As Kraus, now Furlan goes out around behind the net to block it as the play started to get kind of wild back there. Dirksen and Kraus racing in behind the net.
As I was saying, Kirk, the Kamloops Blazers are going to show some frustration here, so be looking for any kind of little scraps to get the Tri-City Americans upset. But another thing that I'd like to point out, too, is that the Blazers have completely ruined that power play. The terrible passing, not looking for the pass, they're bouncing it off each other's skates. The Americans are looking good, but the Blazers are looking really bad.
6-0 to score. About 10 minutes to play in the period. There's a timeout where Furlan adjusts his equipment. But he's just about got it back together now. He had to do a little work on his girdle, I believe. And now the Americans are ready. Face-off will come to the left of Furlan the Magician. Your left as you look on to center ice. Now Fry being chased. And in goes Steve Rennie. Power play continues, but the Americans have really run the power play against the Blazers. One shorthanded goal in this power play. Only the second penalty as they dig for it along the boards. Now it comes in left of the board. Shot across in front of the net to Anderson. Another drive wide of the net. Back behind. Kraus shooting it back in behind the net. Back out to the point. Ewell. Stephen Ewell shoots it back in there. And Kraus unloads on Anderson. Centered once again. Back out head of the slide. Shot by Ewell. Blocked by Furlan.
Penalties expired.
In after it. Penalties over and a whistle. Now
another penalty.
High stick. Let's see who will draw the penalty here.
Not real sure on which one it's going.
No, it's against Kraus. And Rob Kraus will go for high sticking.
Tri-City's penalty to number 2, Rob Kraus.
And the penalty comes at 10:02 of the period.
The Tri-City Americans surely need this victory, plus the victory tomorrow night up at Victoria. And then they play the first-place Portland Winterhawks here on Friday night. So 3 divisional games, very important for the Americans to move up again in the standings and catch Seattle for that 4th and final spot.
Yeah, would you like to be going this good against Portland? It is LeBrun on the face-off against McGowan to Furlan's left. Now LeBrun will be chased, and in will come Stu Barnes. Next weekend is Portland. Then a couple more games on the road. Face-off left of the net. Goes down into the corner. LeBrun, Duval with it. Gets it to Barnes. Minute 51 remaining in the penalty to Kraus. Now the Blazers steal the puck back. They center it. Knocked down by Cutowitz. Into the corner for Bertuzzi. Cruz tries to wheel around the net. Can't. The Americans have it. LeBrun will ice it for the Americans. And back to play it will be Don Schmidt for the Kamloops Blazers. Schmidt brings it out around the net. Feeds out left side now to McGowan. McGowan gets it ahead to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi fans at it. Back to McGowan. McGowan in the slot. Stripped away, and Duval rips it again. The length of the ice for the Americans. Dane Cook leaves it behind. Wasn't much of a vacation for Cook. As he gets wiped out by Barnes, and Cook is going to fight Stu Barnes.
And the referee is calling it here, and we've got everybody down there.
Boy, the Kamloops Blazers want a piece of Barnes. He raced in behind the net and hammered Dean Cook. I don't think He intended to hit Cook. I think Cook turned the wrong way, and Barnes clobbered him. Now they trade oh, now Jakes and Cruz and Schmidt and LeBrun are going to go at it.
You could just tell it was going to start.
Yep.
You could feel it.
Barnes and Cook yapping at each other. Well, let's see who's going where. I think the only penalty is going to be against Don Schmidt. And I think it's going to be a big one. Well, no, wait a minute. Let's see who else is going to go here. Now the two assistant captains come over to hear what the referee's got to say. Penalty comes at 10:55. And we'll get it from PA announcer Tom Lathan as soon as you hear it, or as soon as he gets it. And I'm not sure who else is going to wind up in the penalty box, if anybody. Barnes is going off the ice.
Well, they may give a penalty to Corey Hirsch and have somebody else sit it out. That might be a possibility because of what his...
Hirsch really started. He instigated it.
That might be a possibility, but then again, we're going to have to wait for the official. And referee Hansen down there trying to explain what's going on to Phil Huber and Sean LeBrun.
Huber is not happy. He's telling Hansen the way it is. And Phil Huber might be a pretty good lawyer from the looks of it.
LeBrun is...
I don't think he's that good a lawyer.
LeBrun's not saying a whole bunch, so that indicates to me that the Americans are coming away with something here.
Well, Brunner's job is to listen in this case and not get himself in trouble. Now the referee down there talking with the official scorer, and LeBrun there to listen in. Now, I don't think LeBrun got what he wanted because they're calling for one of the Americans to go to the penalty box too. It is Dan Schustenka. Oh, it's going to be offsetting penalty. And you hear the crowd. I agree with that. I agree with the crowd. I think that was not good. Well, now, wait a minute.
We got another Blazer sitting down.
Now Szalski's going. I need a secretary.
This is getting really good now. Tom Lathan's
now they're getting Schustenka back out, and I think Barnes is going to go in. Let's see. No, wait a minute. No, Schustenka's going to the
10-minute maybe. He may be getting a 10-minute.
Yeah, looks like he is. Now, who else is going to go? Now, let's see. Schustenka will get a... well, let's just all wait until we get this all sorted out. Barry Kilburn is over here with the phone talking to the official scorer and then relaying it up to the control room to Tom Lathan. Tom's on the phone, and as soon as we get that all worked out.
Here are your penalties. First of all, for Kamloops, number 1, goaltender Corey Hirsch, 2 minutes for roughing. That'll be served by number 16, David Szysowski. Also for Kamloops, it's number 28, Don Schmidt, 2 minutes for roughing. And for the Tri-City Americans, the penalty is to number 5, Dan Schustenka, a 10-minute misconduct penalty. The time of those penalties, 10:55.
Well, it's 4-on-3 right now, as the penalty to Rob Kraus will stand, but the penalty to Kraus will expire and give the Americans a 5-on-3 advantage over Kamloops. As the puck is shot into the crowd, a drive from the point by LeBrun. Right now it's 4-on-3, with Hirsch's penalty being served by Szysowski, a captain and assistant captain, and Schmidt serving his own penalty. Kraus has 43 seconds remaining in his penalty, but then there will be 51 seconds of 5-on-3 for the Americans as soon as the penalty to Kraus is over.
That's what they'll do. And the goalie, they don't take the goalie out and put him in the penalty box. They take a player off the ice and have him serve the penalty for the goalie.
Yeah, they take a captain or an assistant captain. Right. Jakes with it. Jakes on the face-off to LeBrun. LeBrun centers to Spinrath, but he couldn't get it to him. Now LeBrun steals it back. 33 seconds remaining in the penalty to Kraus. Then it'll be 5-on-3. Barnes with it, head of the slot. Barnes slides it down to LeBrun. LeBrun has to take it to the boards left. LeBrun with it. 20 seconds remaining in the penalty to Kraus. Back to Barnes. Barnes right Jakes. Jakes back to Barnes. Barnes shoots it to Spenrath, and his shot is blocked as Spenrath loses the puck in the slot. Dumped back by Huber. Now Furlan comes out, plays it off the glass, but it's knocked away by Huber. Huber shot. Furlan blocked it. Ooh, Furlan a long ways out of the goal. Spenrath. He might be magic, but I don't think he's that magic. Barnes with it. Brings it along the boards. Dumps it back now for Jakes. Jakes takes the drop pass, gets it ahead to Barnes again. Now the penalty is over to Krause. 38 seconds of 5-on-3. LeBrun. The Americans. LeBrun shot. Smothered out front. Knocked away by the Blazers and dumped back into the Tri-City zone. Furlan comes out. Furlan will play it out to LeBrun. LeBrun wheels back. 22 seconds left in the 5-on-3 for the Americans. Here comes Tri-Cities. Now Barnes with it. Barnes goes left. Duval. Duval back to Barnes. Barnes in the slot. Has it knocked away. Duval will run it down to the blue line. Goes left to LeBron. 6 seconds in behind the net. But the Blazers have it. They leave it back for Deck. Deck whips it off the boards, and they've successfully killed the penalty. So for the Americans, a power play number 5. And they are 3 for 5 on power plays. The Blazers 0 for 4. The score remains 6-0. The only Tri-Cities goal this period scored shorthanded, while the Blazers were on the power play.
The Blazers are 10 for 20 on power plays in their last 5 games. They are really, the Americans are really holding down the Blazers as far as 50%. That's a heck of a good percentage in power plays.
Face-off to the left of Dean Cook, or to the right of Dean Cook, rather. Puck shot in around the boards to the right side. Goes to Cruz. Cruz back to neutral ice. Kutowicz with it. Kutowicz shoots it ahead now for Sen. He loses it. Puck stolen away by Robertson. Here comes Robertson for the Americans. Into the slot to Nibbs, and Nibbs can't get wood on it. Back in behind the net it goes. 6:45 to play. Out to the point now to Duval at the right point. Duval has it knocked away, but he keeps it in play to Scherstenka. Puck goes off Scherstenka's stick. Racing it after it is Sen. Back to the blue line. Stolen away by Cruz. Here comes Cruz. 2-on-3. Plays it right to McGowan. And it's broken up as one of them was in offside. 6-0 to score. The Tri-City Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. And my, oh my, what a hockey game.
And kind of a little note for those that are keeping track of these kind of things. The Americans enter tonight's game with 98 goals for, and tonight's first goal by Greg Spenrath was the Tri-City Americans' 100th goal of the season.
6-0. They lead the Kamloops Blazers. Well, this has been a more even period. The Americans scoring 1 goal as Krause on the faceoff goes into the corner left of the Tri-Cities net. Puck comes out. Shot from the left side. Anderson blocked out front by Rick Fry. Now the Americans shoot it back into neutral ice. Rennie racing after it. Rennie and Ruck stolen away from them by Buchanan. Buchanan across the blue line. Shoots it off to the boards. Left side. Goes down to Krause. Krause tied up by Anderson. Shot back out into the slot to Trevor Sand. Sand shoots it back to neutral ice. Now back across the Tri-City blue line. Right of the net. Into the corner, and Krause will chip it back out of there. Saved at the blue line by McClelland. And he's tied up there by Rick Fry and Steve Rennie.
Fans, please turn to page 15 of your Americans Showcase magazine tonight.
6-0 to score. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers here at Tri-City Coliseum. It's gotten kind of quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah, I was just going to say something, Kirk. You know, one thing I haven't seen is the Wave.
No, I haven't either.
And they've got a consecutive streak on that going every game.
Yeah, the crowd, you'd think the crowd would be rocking and rolling here, but they're really kind of quiet, just sort of watching the game. Face-off won by the Americans. Maybe they're still full from Christmas.
Yeah.
Face-off, left side of the net. In behind the Tri-Cities net. Shands with it. Tried to center it. And Furlan comes out to break up the play.
Tricky angle right there. Well, we got a little bit of scrapping there. And
little yapping going on.
Yapping. Yeah, there we go.
Bingham and Trevor Sand trading shoves.
And they're going to put Trevor Sand in the penalty box for that, for roughing.
Well, actually, to tell the honest truth, Mrs. Sand, he did. Comes at 14:25 of the period. Face-off will be to the right-hand side of Frank Furlan, the Americans goalie, in the center of the face-off circle. To his right, your left, as you look on from center ice. And it will be Robertson against Brian Shands. Now Robertson being chased, and in comes Calvin Nibbs. On the face-off, won by Nibbs. Nibbs with it in the corner. Plays it off the glass. Back to the point left. Deck. Kim Deck with it for the Blazers. Deck, a shot! Blocked by Furlan. Rebound. Knocked out of there by Murray Duval. Duval chips it out, and Deck keeps it in play at the point. Now Robertson rips it back across the ice. Robertson taken down by Bingham. And we're going to have a whistle. High stick against Bingham.
Also, that was a great play by Murray Duval when he was back on defense there. When the shot was taken from the point, Murray was standing in front of Frank Furlan, and he just got out of the way just in time so Frank could have a clear shot on that. That's a good play by a defenseman.
Penalty comes at 14:45, which ends the power play. We'll have almost 2 minutes, minute and 40 seconds of 4-on-4. This is Barnes-Arama time. It's the time that Stu Barnes likes the best, although he's not on the ice now.
Look for him, though.
Robertson on the face-off. Won by Hubert. Hubert gets it to Deck. Kim Deck into neutral ice. Shoots it down into the Tri-City zone. Kutowicz wheels back for it. Kutowicz races in behind his net. Feeds it out right to Duval. Outlet pass goes to Robertson. Robertson drop pass for Kutowicz. Kutowicz along the boards. Shoots it ahead to Nibbs. Nibbs can't get wood on it. They race into the Kamloops zone. Deck and Nibbs. Now Robertson puts a hit on Deck. Puck shot back across the ice, right to left in the neutral zone. Now it's shot ahead to Shazowski. Rejected there by Kutowicz. Shot into the corner by the Blazers around behind the net. Furlan leaving it there for Duval. Murray Duval starts it out. Feeds left now. Duval out to Nibbs. Nibbs, his pass. Glove by McClellan to knock down. Left there for Hubert. Well, no, Hubert not there. He was on a shift change. And Kutowicz will pick it up for the Americans. Kutowicz takes it in from the right side, has it stick saved away, or stick checked away by Schmidt to Shazowski. Here comes David Shazowski, 2-on-3. Shazowski shoots it in right of the net. Comes out to Spenrat. Spenner brings it up for the Americans, 4-on-4. And the puck shot back to the boards by Needham. Knocked away loose. Back forward is Krause. Krause to Delcourt. Now Delcourt gets it left to Spenrat. Spenner wheels around to neutral ice. He'll have to reset for the Americans. Headman pass to Delcourt. Deli in across the blue line. Delcourt steps ahead of his man, but he's tied up around behind the net. Delcourt with it. Shoots it back out to Jakes along the boards. Back in underneath. Spenrath trying to get to it in the right corner. Racing it after it is Harrison. Now to Delcourt. Deli takes a hit from Harrison. Delcourt with it. Digs it off the boards. And the penalty to Sen is over. Sen coming out. And onto the ice quickly is McNutt. Puck's loose along the boards. As Spenrath digs at it with Anderson, or Harrison rather, and they'll freeze it right there.
6 seconds left to go, and the penalty to Pat Bingham. Pat Bingham standing by the glass, getting ready to head back on the ice for the Kamloops Blazers. Both teams will be at equal strength as it's been.
6 seconds remaining in that penalty to Pat Bingham. 6-0. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. Blazers in blue with a big white outline B on the front and that orange flame.
Well, they're getting ready to break ground on that new Coliseum up there.
That's to understand. Talking with Coach Ken Hitchcock before the game, he said they actually broke ground. Right now they have a little spat between the city and a citizens committee over who's going to run the show. Puck goes into the corner. Knocked loose by the Blazers. Here comes Kamloops. And the power play for the Americans is over. They go 3 for 6 on power plays. We have icing.
And we also have a penalty coming up, a high sticking penalty. And it's going to be served by the Kamloops Blazers. Another power play opportunity for the Tri-City Americans.
Well, checking into the penalty box for the Blazers at 16:53. Well, no. That was wrong.
Excuse me. Check that. That was Rob Krause is going to sit down. They had the Kamloops Blazers box open and quickly shut that and put Rob Krause in his place.
Krause goes to the penalty box. 6-0 the score.
Third penalty of the night, I believe, for Rob Krause.
Face-off just outside the blue line.
Number 2, Rob Krause, 2 minutes for high sticking.
Face-off won by Rennie. Back to Duval. Duval with it, wheels back into his own zone. Oops, he fell down. He's going to be knocked off the puck by Sador. It's tied up along the boards. Now Huber digs it loose. Rennie all over him. Huber starts in on Furlan. Shoots, and Furlan blocks it away again. Dirksen wiped Furlan out, and the puck goes left into the corner. Kutowitz in after it. Feeds it right side, but there is Sador. Sador out to the point. Feeds the pass left side, Creighton. Creighton's pass knocked away. Back out to the point. Shot to the right side now for the Blazers. Broken up by the Americans. Creighton from the left side. Furlan, a glove save. Puck comes down in front of the net and it's shot back to neutral ice. Ooh, Furlan just getting a piece of that one. 2:25 to go in the second period. Furlan with it behind the net. Now he'll shoot it out himself. Out to neutral ice. Back forward is Deck. Minute 9 to go on the penalty to Kraus as they race in for it along in front of the Kamloops boards, or Kamloops bench. Blazers have it. They feed it left side, but it's broken up. Buchanan had it broken up by Kutowitz. Shot the length of the ice. And Dean Cook will whip it around the boards right side to Buchanan. Buchanan with it. And Rennie as they play it along the dasher board. Picked out of there by Deck. Deck into the corner. Big hit on Deck. 42 seconds remaining in the penalty to Kraus. Puck knocked down by Rennie in front of in the slot. But it's saved there by Deck. They shoot it ahead to Anderson. Blazers with it. Anderson with it. Whips a quick pass ahead to Buchanan. Buchanan dumps into the Tri-City zone, and Dibbs is there to reject it for the Americans. Puck goes in behind the net. Back for it is Dean Cook. Or check it, that's Corey Hirsch back in the crease.
Corey Hirsch.
It is Hirsch back in the crease for Kamloops as the Blazers bring it in. Feed it right side into the corner. To the right of the net. Race in behind the net. They try to wrap it around in the slot. And it's knocked away by Fry. Rebound comes out to Furlan. Furlan leaves it loose. It got away from him. Comes out to the point. Schmidt. Schmidt whips it in behind on the glass, behind the net. Ruck in there to break it up. Nibs with the puck. Nibs has it taken off his skate by Huber. 1 minute to play in the period. Now Fry. Here come the Americans on a breakaway. Fry gets it ahead to Kraus. Kraus' shot. Blocked by Hirsch, and Kraus is hurt.
Kraus got, I believe, a stick in the face when they were trying to hook check him.
I think he got one. Boy,
and he is hot. He is real hot.
He's a Don Schmidt, and I can't see as I really blame him.
That's right.
He got hit right in the face. Now let's see if we'll get a penalty out of it.
Boy, he really did, too. He took a shot right in it, and they are going to give him a penalty.
The penalty will go against Creighton.
Yeah, Rob got one right in the face on that as he was trying to break in. See, the whole idea by a defenseman is to grab him and hook him.
Now, is Kraus going to get a penalty, too? He's still hot. The linesman is over there talking to him. I don't think he's going to get a penalty.
I think that was
the call.
Yeah. I think that was a justifiable reaction from jumping up and starting to chase, but people were right there to stop him from doing any damage. But as Rob was breaking in on Corey Hirsch, the instinction, the way that the guys are supposed to do it is to hook check, to grab that stick and to kind of hook him up and slow him down so they can get in front of him. Well, when they were hook checking him, the blade got him right on the lip, or he's checking himself right now. It looks like right at above his lip, right below his nose. So
he's asking, a
penalty. It is a 5-minute slashing penalty.
A 5-minute major.
With injury to it. That's exactly what they should be, too.
Well, down behind the net is Barnes. The Americans on a power play. This is a big one, and it will last for 5 full minutes. LeBrun, his shot blocked. Puck goes back into neutral ice. Back forward is Harrison. Here comes Harrison, but it's knocked away by LeBrun. Back to Jakes. Jakes with it for the Americans. A 5-minute power play. Out now to Spenrath. He can't handle it, but Barnes wheels after it. Barnes, clear, breakaway, shoots! Blocked by Corey Hirsch. Hirsch doing a good job. Jakes stops it at the right point. Back out front to LeBrun. LeBrun, a drive! Wide of the net right side. Back out to Jakes. Jakes with it at the point. Jakes now loses it back into neutral ice. Jakes wheels back for it. Has it knocked away by Cruz. Jakes tripping Cruz up. Taken off his stick by Harrison as time runs out. But the Americans will have a 4-minute and 9-second power play. Oh, now we got a little scrum going along the board.
Yeah.
As Harrison and Cruz race in there to have a little talk with the boys.
Malone, looks like
Malone still wants to.
Yeah, I know, and the referee's right down. The linesmen are down there.
Now Frank Malone. Oh, he's really hot with Cruz. Now Cruz getting in a few licks with the mouth, but he's now he has a word or two for Spenrath. Malone
Referee
may have
Hansen
gotten a little too physical with the linesman. We'll just have to see.
Hopefully he doesn't get himself in trouble with that. Referee Hansen is clearing the ice. The period is over.
And at the end of the second period, the score, the Tri-City Americans 6, Kamloops Blazers 6. We'll be back in 2 minutes on this Tri-City Radio American hockey broadcast.
Here, not only the Americans.
A good man to know, Mike Knaw, who does the non-hockey promotions for Tri-Cities Coliseum. Thanks for joining us, and we'll look forward to checking in with you periodically as things develop here in the new Tri-Cities Coliseum.
Super, thanks, Kurt.
Well, the score here at the beginning of the third period, 6-0. The Tri-City Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. Now, we did have a penalty at the end of the period, which will require a good night. We've got 3 Americans players in the penalty box. Only one of them is actually listed. We have Sherstenka, Barnes, and Malone. And on the face-off, it's 4-on-4, and face-off won by the Blazers. Now Delcourt takes it for the Americans. Delcourt back, losing it back to Don Schmidt. Schmidt for the Blazers, leaves it behind for Huber. Huber with it. Tried to get it between 2 men. Spenrath almost stole it away. Back to Huber it goes from Linford. Linford with it across to the blue line. Delcourt all over him, and he takes a hit from Spenrath. Boy, the crowd's quiet all of a sudden.
Sure has.
Puck shot around the dasher boards. Ahead for Spenrath. They get it ahead to Delcourt. Delcourt on breakaway. Delling shot. Blocked wide of the net as Schmidt raced in on him. Loose stick in front of the net. Couple of pokes at it for Delcourt. Can't do anything with it. Blazers get it out to Needham now. Mike Needham kicks it into neutral ice. Cutterwitz there. Cutter breaks it up. Here comes Delcourt. Delcourt gets around his man. But back for it is Needham as Delcourt was taken down by Linford. And off into the corner they go, and a big hit put on there as we had a whistle. Big hit put on Brian Shands.
For the record here, your penalties from the end of the second period.
I got shots on goal for that second period.
Well, let's get the penalties
Paul
first.
Cruz, 2 minutes for roughing. For the Tri-City Americans, those penalties from the end of the second period. It was number 16, Frank Malone, 2 minutes for roughing, 2 minutes for roughing, plus a 10-minute misconduct. And those penalties were at the 20-minute mark.
So they got a bunch of penalties right at the end of the second period.
Well, that's why Sherstenka is in the penalty box, I guess, serving. And Barnes, I don't know why Barnes and Sherstenka over there, but Malone getting a double minor for roughing, and and Sherstenka getting a 5-minute misconduct.
And we got more people visiting the penalty box for Kamloops. Cruz.
Now Cruz going to the penalty box. He wasn't in there before. I just think these were all left over from the end of the period.
Your attention, please. Brad Durham, please call extension 18 in the in-house phone system. Brad Durham.
And we have a whistle as the puck goes into the corner. I think we're going to have offsides again.
Yeah.
As the penalty to Frank Malone. Penalty to Malone has 49 seconds remaining on it. The penalty to number 5, Creighton, who is the Creighton is the guy who got the 5-minute major for slapping Krause in the face with his stick. As the face-off won by the Blazers. Here they come. Up the right side is Shantz. Brian Shantz checked off the puck by Krause and taken to the boards hard. Into the corner it goes. McNutt working on Shizowski. Out to the blue line. Left side it goes now. Puck shot across the crease from the left side by Deck. Big hit there. On the right side by McNutt. They bring it along the boards to Rennie. Rennie back to Krause, and we have a whistle.
Another penalty.
Interference will be the call.
That's what it is.
Against Jakes.
Jakes.
Now, that gives Kamloops a power play for 20 seconds. their 6th. They're 0 for 6 so far.
Tri-Cities penalty to number 4, defenseman Steve James. 2 minutes for interference.
Comes in a minute 40 of the period. 6-0. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. This is just weird. Tony, the shots, please.
Okay, in that second period, 14 by the Tri-City Americans, only 3 by the Kamloops Blazers. 2-period total, 41, Tri-Cities 11 for the Blazers.
Good night. Face-off won by the Blazers goes to Schmidt. It's 4-on-3. Power play for the Blazers. Blocked there by Kutowitz at the blue line. Back into neutral ice. Schmidt with it. Schmidt wheels across the blue line. Schmidt has it checked away by Duval. Here comes Duval. 1-on-1. Duval across the blue line. Up the right side. Checked off the puck. Taken to the boards. Big hit on Duval.
And he's hurt.
And he's down and hurt. He really went crashing into the boards hard.
His shoulder.
McGowan. McGowan for the Blazers. Tries to split the defense. Can't. Loses it to Barnes. Puck back now to Schmidt. Schmidt in the slot. Backhand. Ferland blocked it. Schmidt races in behind the net. Now it comes out right side. McGowan. Duval gets up, comes off the ice under his own power. Back in behind the net. Kutowitz with McGowan. We'll have to look and see if we see Murray as trainer Jim Craig goes over for him to check on him. Now here comes LeBrun. LeBrun with Barnes. 2-on-3. LeBrun beats his man. LeBrun steers it into the slot. Barnes is there. Turn, shoot! Smothered by Corey Hirsch. And the Blazers bring it out. Now we're back to 4-on-4. Puck shot into the left corner by the Blazers. In behind the net goes Devin Dirksen. Dirksen with it. Back behind the net for the Americans. Now he'll start to bring it out. Dirksen with it. Or check it, it's not either. It's Sherstenka, I'm sorry. The 9 and the 5 got to looking a lot alike there. Down into the corner it goes. Kraus whipping it around to Rick Fry. Fry with it. Fry, headman
nice
to
pass.
Barnes. Stu Barnes just couldn't quite control it. Leaves it behind, but Kim Deck is there for the Blazers. To Sador. Sador to Harrison. Big hit on Harrison by Kraus. Puck lost back into the Tri-City zone. Sherstenka with it. Wheels around behind his net. Feeds it out to Kraus. Kraus slaps it off the boards. It'll slide back into Kamloops territory. Penalty to Jakes. Almost over. 7 seconds in neutral ice. We're 4-on-4. Ahead now to Huber. Huber's shot banged off the glass. It was blocked up front by Kraus. Back forward is Kutowitz. Kutowitz shoots it across neutral ice. Now Dirksen chases after it. Into the corner it goes. Fry and Dirksen. Fry chasing it after it along with McClelland. Rick Fry wipes out. Huber takes it off his stick. Checked away by number 10, Delcourt. Now Huber tied up by Rick Fry. Huber gets loose from Fry. Headman pass goes to Needham. Needham across the blue line. Has it slapped away by Duval. Murray's back at it. Headman pass intended for Duval. Knocked away. Played it off his skate. Back now to Sador. To Don Schmidt. Schmidt wheels through his zone. Schmidt will start to bring it up. Gets it across the blue line right to Shazowski. 6-0. The Americans working on a shutout. Up front it goes to Yule. Oops, I said the word. Yule shot blocked by Ferland. Into the corner goes Trevor Sen. I didn't mean to say that, Frank. Goes ahead into neutral ice. Sen puts a big hit on Schmidt. Schmidt doesn't hardly move. Puck slapped back across the ice. Right to left. Now Shazowski out at the right point. He's checked off it by Robertson. Down to Sherstenka. Or to Kutowitz, rather. Cutter shoots it ahead, but the Blazers there to break it up. Back for Kamloops is McGowan. Knocked away by Dirksen. Dirksen dumping it into the Kamloops end. Back forward is Deck. All the penalties are finally over. 14:56. Here comes Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi wheels around behind the net. Leaving it in the corner for Shazowski. Jakes puts a hit on Shazowski. Centered. A shot blocked out front. Puck goes behind the net. Now Trevor Sen with it. Sen works it out now to to Robertson. Robertson cross ice left to Nibbs. Nibbs bangs it and it goes over the glass as Calvin Nibbs took a whack at it. And it goes up into the crowd.
Shazowski, Needham, Huber, and McGowan, all for the Kamloops Blazers, are in jeopardy of snapping all their point-scoring streaks tonight. 9, 8, 6, and 5 games, respectively, for those 4 players.
6-0 to score. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. They scored 5 goals in the first period. Face-off inside the Kamloops blue line. Won by the Blazers. Here comes Anderson. Anderson checked off a big hit by Finrath. Finrath just upended Harrison. That was a payback. In the slot. Shot wide of the net. Ferland just getting his stick on it. Puck goes around behind the net.
And penalty.
Well, penalty coming up. And the whistle blows. High stick to call. And it will go against,
I believe, Spinrath.
I think so too. Boy, did he put a hit on number 19, Ryan Harrison.
The Captain Crunch.
Indeed it was. 5:15, the time of the penalty. Colin Ruck comes on for the Americans.
Number 27, Greg Spinrath, 2 minutes for Hines.
It's good to see Colin come out and get some game time. He doesn't have any goals or any assists, but he sure does try out there, and he is the biggest American out there, about 6'5".
6'5", yeah. Well, the Americans are 3 for 7 on power plays. And I think they had a power play in there someplace, so that makes it 3 for 8. And the Blazers working on their 7th power play of the night. Somewhere near. Face-off to the left of Furlan, won by the Blazers. Shot in behind the net. Furlan out of the crease to go in after it. Furlan takes a big hit. Scored! An empty netter.
Now we got penalties
and a fight going on too, as Ruck tangles up with somebody who really put a hit on Furlan. Furlan is really hot. Boy, as Colin Ruck looks like number 9 Bingham pinned to the boards. Furlan stands there alongside the net to watch. Ruck gets in a couple of hits there.
Boy, he got in a couple of great hits. They're still chirping and hanging on to each other.
That's Pat Bingham. And Ruck Bingham is 6'1", 195, a 20-year-old. Ruck, 17. So we'll go to the penalty box. I don't know who's going to get the penalty. Bingham. Well, that one comes at 5:54. And Furlan got around behind the net, went back to play it, and Bingham tied him up back there. And that's why the Blazers, I think, have one goal on the board. At least it went in the net. Came right out. I don't know who got the goal either.
Yeah, well, the referee hasn't pointed out who's got the goal yet. And another thing, too, is that penalty may have started, and the whistle may have blown, and it has, it looks like, because they're not. That's exactly what happened. The whistle had blown before the goal went in, so play was stopped. That means that's no goal. They'll have a face-off outside the blue line.
Yeah, I believe that's right. And we'll get the official announcement from Tom Lathan. Lathan doing a great job as he's taken over as the public address announcer here, and I certainly enjoy the job he's done. They really put on. I'll tell you what, if you've not been to the Coliseum, you've not been to a hockey game, you need to come out, because they put on a first-class show.
Great entertainment. Excellent entertainment.
Well, Furlan may have preserved his, the S word.
Yeah.
That one. Mm-hmm. But we'll just have to see. They have not signaled a goal, and apparently will not. And Brian Shands is still hot to trot. He's yelling at referee Tom Hansen down there. And now a couple of the less bright fans are throwing.
Yeah. That stuff's got to stop.
Yeah.
That's what gives this place a bad name.
That's the kind of stuff they do in Spokane.
Yeah. I mean,
6-0 the score. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. And I believe that now we got a Blazer coming over, another Blazer coming over, and that will be Linford. And I think we may have a bench minor to go with this, as Linford has a seat next to teammate Pat Bingham. And we're still waiting for all the announcements of who did what to whom with how.
Here are your penalties. First of all, for the Kamloops Blazers, it's number 9, winger Pat Bingham. 2 minutes for roughing, 2 minutes for roughing, and 5 minutes for fighting.
A double minor to Bingham.
Americans, it's number 12, Colin Ruck, 2 minutes for instigating and 5 minutes for fighting. The time of the penalty is 5:54.
Needs to be a power play in there for the Americans.
Well, right now, the scoreboard only shows 2 penalties to Spenrath and Bingham. And puck stolen by McNutt. McNutt in a breakaway, takes it in, wipes out the goalie. And did the puck cross the center line? No.
And let me tell you what.
McNutt went straight in. Now he takes a cross check from Huber.
And Corey Hirsch is really hurt.
McNutt raced in and just reamed Corey Hirsch and did not get the puck in the net.
And I'm telling you what, that was just a straight drop your elbow and shoulder and dive right into Corey Hirsch. And Spike Wallace, the athletic therapist, is out there and tending to Corey Hirsch, who is really hurt. And I'm telling you, that was just duck your head down and go right in. Took the net right off the moorings out there, and how that puck didn't go across the line, I'll never know either.
Well, it got tied up right on the corner of the net. With 13:29 to go in the third period, Americans 6, Blazers nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. Boy, Tony, out of all of that, we wound up with a penalty to Pat Bingham that will last 2 minutes longer than the penalty to Colin Rock, and Linford came over to serve the other roughing minor to Bingham. On the face-off, right of the Kamloops net. Blazers have it. Headman, it goes to Needham. Needham with it across the blue line. Being checked off the puck, and Dirksen is there to knock it away.
Good defense.
Goes to the left boards. In after it is LeBrun. Now it's shot to the slot. Whacked that wide of the net from Needham. Off into the corner. Still, the Blazers have not scored. Needham with it. Gets it on the right now. There's Chance around behind the net. They center it, and LeBrun breaks it up. Back out to the blue line. Here comes Barnes. Barnes, 2-on-2. Barnes with LeBrun. Barnes is upended by Kim Deck. Puck shot ahead by the Blazers now. There's Chance. Slapped away by the Americans. Barnes will wait, cruise in after it, and Barnes nailed Kim Deck. Out to Krause, the drive, and a stick save by Corey Hirsch. Oh, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, it doesn't matter the size that you are in this league. It's how you go ahead and hit it. It's the technique, and Stu Barnes showed exactly right there what good technique will do when you check somebody into the boards. A little bit of
Kim
a payback.
Deck checked Barnes from behind and kind of tied him up there, made him go down and look bad beside. And Barnes, when Deck started into the corner after it, Barnes kind of skated a little zigzag, biding his time, waiting for Deck to get in ahead of him, and then face-off won by the Blazers. Blazers, they try to get it ahead to Cruz. Cruz losing it now to Rennie. Rennie with it for the Americans. Right side at the blue line. Back into neutral ice. Fry chasing after it along with Ewell. Ewell chipping it back to neutral ice. Back to the Tri-Cities blue line to Scherstenka. Has it knocked away, but it goes in the air and is gloved by Rennie. Steve Rennie, 2-on-3. Rennie dumping it into the right corner, to the right of the Kamloops net. Hirsch whips around, shoots it out along the boards. Spenrath into the play. He puts a hit on Cruz, but here comes McGowan. McGowan dumping it into the Tri-Cities zone. Back for it is Scherstenka. Both teams at full strength now. Scherstenka, headman to Spenrath. Spenrath with it, centered it for Rennie. Dogger wheels around, finds Fry. Fry shot, blocked out front now by Anderson. Puck loose in the slot. Here come the Blazers. Blazers walk it out. Goes right now to Anderson. Anderson a drive, and Ferland puts it against the glass. Anderson into the corner. Another shot from the right side, and Ferland will cover it up. Harrison. Now we got another fight going on as Anderson and is that Jakes? Yeah, it is. Anderson and Jakes go at it, and I don't even know.
Well, here's the results of tonight's 50-50 drawing for the education.
Well, Rick Fry was also down there in the middle of it, and I think Rick got the first shot in, and then Jakes came in and threw one, and looks like Corey Anderson and Jakes are going to sit down, but the original one was with Fry and Corey Anderson. And here comes the wave.
That's the information.
Well, let's see if we can hear the wave go around.
Yellow ticket 32-14-23.
Okay, goes all the way around.
It looks like a good one.
Here it comes. Listen now. Well, you can hear it go right underneath the front box. Well, we get the penalty here. I think we're going to have basically a fight. Now the referee over talking with the off-ice officials. Oh, they got the wave going good now.
Yeah,
it's really whipping around in here. Well, you'll hear it again as it comes around. Now Rennie also leaving the ice.
Referee Hanson's down there directing traffic. Trying to get things started up.
Well, we show a penalty now to Jake.
There's a backside to the wave. We got two waves going. Now, this is the first.
Yep. Well, that one didn't last very long. Now we got Jake's. A penalty to Jakes is on the board. And Rennie there. Rennie also in the penalty box. Face-off. As the Blazers are on the power play, they're 8 to the 9.
Penalties first to the Kamloops Blazers, number 21.
As backcourt is McClellan.
To the Tri City Americans, defenseman Steve Jakes, number 4, 2 minutes for roughing, and 2 minutes for roughing at 8:24.
Okay, Jakes is 2 minutes for both for roughing, and Rennie will serve the rest of the other penalty to Jakes. As Jakes and Anderson both get it for roughing, but Jakes get 2 of them. Across neutral ice, and we have an offsides as Harrison goes across the blue line. 10:58 to go. The Americans leading 6-0 over the Kamloops Blazers. And I'll tell you what, Ferland the Magician has been magic tonight.
And that is a fact. Frank has only had a few shots on goal, but the ones that have been there have been pinpoint direct shots, and he has directed the team, and you can pretty much hear him yelling and screaming down there. And these guys would love nothing better to do than give old Frank Ferland a shot.
Don't say that word. Face-off won by the Americans, but the Blazers with it on the power play. Kamloops. Huber brings it across the blue line. Huber, right side for Needham. Shot back to the point now to Stephen Ewell. Back out across the blue line. Back into neutral ice it goes. Back for it is Schmidt. Schmidt has it taken off his stick by Delcourt. Delcourt and Spenrath race in, but Delcourt is pasted to the boards by Ewell. Now Huber digging at it, and Delcourt will just cover up.
I think it's a little bit hairy down there too when you get a stick just starting there jabbing for the puck, and the puck is just right underneath your chin. Not a place to put the puck.
Well, I'm not altogether sure, but I think Jelly's probably seen that happen a time or two in his career.
Yeah.
6-0 the score. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. Face-off won by the Blazers. They're on the power play. 52 seconds remaining. Right side it goes to Needham. Mike Needham bring it up, dumps it into the corner. Needham goes left. In behind the net is Kraus. Kraus leaving it behind. On the left side, Needham goes in, takes a big hit from Dirksen. Now it's shot out of there by McNutt. Shot all the way down into the Kamloops zone. Back for it in a hurry is Sador. Darryl Sador back behind the net. Sador starts out. Sador feeding left now to Schmidt. Don Schmidt evading a check by McNutt. Brings it ahead. Gets around Spenrath, and we have a whistle as Schmidt got in offside.
Boy, half the team for Kamloops Blazers was in offside on that one. That's just good defense out there in front of the blue line. That's what you have to do.
6-0 to score. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. 9:58 to go.
Well,
in the third period. Go ahead, Tom.
Excuse me, Kurt. It sounds to me like the Tri-City fans now are starting to wake up and get back into this game. You know, I was talking with Zach Boyer there during second intermission, and boy, Zach couldn't believe the crowd. He says this is absolutely the best crowd he's ever played in front of.
Face-off just outside the blue line. Barnes against McGowan. Face-off won by McGowan. Goes to Deck. Deck a shot, and Ferland blocked it. Have to fall on it. That one had him handcuffed. It came chest high, and Ferland tried to glove it. Now we have another scramble going on down there.
Get Stu out of there. We don't need to get Stu in a fight right now.
Cruz and Barnes, and I think Cruz is going to go sit down.
Yeah.
Because Barnes just skated away from him, and Cruz wanted to continue the fun there. 10:08 is the penalty. Be roughing against Paul Cruz.
And look at Coach Hitchcock. He is steamed. Oh, he is looking at his guys over in the penalty box. He's not even looking anyplace else.
Yeah, I think his X-ray vision is melting the glass.
I can feel that one.
Yeah. That's if looks could kill department.
Pretty tough one.
And and Cruz is over there thinking I'm gonna get in an 8-foot by 40-foot aluminum can with this guy to go home. Face off, won by the Americans. LeBrun takes it into the corner. Center score! No, it was blocked. Hirsch came up big. I thought Barnes had one for sure. 4 seconds remaining in the penalty to Jakes, and then the Americans will go on a power play.
Sean's going to take a seat.
Oh.
Boy, that's not what you want to do. You get something going just like that, and then as soon as that starts,
interference against LeBrun just destroyed a power play. That one comes at 10-23.
There's 5 Americans sitting in the penalty box down there. How much more room can they put in there?
Well, and it will give the Blazers a power play for 1 second, and then it'll be 4-on-4. And then the Blazers will have a brief power play, 15 seconds out the other end. Face-off at the blue line. It's 4-on-3. Blazers with the man advantage. Penalty is over, and Rennie steps back on the ice. Now it's 4-on-4. Back behind the net goes Scherstenka. Whacked at from behind by Harrison. Harrison and Scherstenka. Danik kicks it ahead now. Comes off the boards. Out to Harrison. Ryan Harrison with it. Right point. Feeds the pass left side to Deck. Deck winds up. Won't take a shot. Center scores. Great pass from Kim Deck.
So Ryan Harrison left an empty net.
Ferland came out on Deck. And Deck made the great pass. And Ferland loses the shutout.
And he's shaking his head knowing that he was just way out of position on that. He should have played better defense on that. He was trying to cut an angle down, and he thought Deck was going to go ahead and take the shot there from the right side. Instead, Deck had the presence to throw that puck over to Harrison, and Harrison picks up his 6th goal of the season.
6-1 the score. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. There's 9:13 to play, and time. Puck played ahead now. It goes to Sador. Sador and a whistle as Sador breaks into the Tri-City zone.
Well, now the guys have to sit back and have to continue to play hard for the next 9 minutes and preserve the victory for Mr. Ferland. Now knowing that the shutout is all gone. He's played one heck of a game, though.
And it is 4-on-4 for another minute and 16 seconds. Just inside the blue line, inside the Kamloops blue line, to the right side of the net. Robertson and Huber. Huber winning the draw, but Robertson races into the corner after it. As back for it is Don Schmidt. Puck goes right to Stephen Ewell. Ewell shoots. Ferland gives up a rebound, comes right back to Ewell. Back into the corner it goes. Bertuzzi in behind the net. Krause ties him up. Ferland looking on as Bertuzzi and Krause tie the puck up along the boards.
Now, Coach Hitchcock knows that Frank Ferland is a little bit down right now. Now's the time to have him send in his hard attackers and to really put the pressure on Frank Ferland, because Frank has let down a little bit of his steam. This would be a great opportunity for the Kamloops Blazers to add up maybe 1, maybe 2 goals before Frank gets himself back to composure. But Frank is also a very smart goaltender. He knows that that's exactly what they'll try to do, and he's a very good one. So watch and see what happens.
Needham and Shazowski come in for Kamloops along with Ewell and Schmidt. Well, that's most of the line that would be doing the damage.
Yep.
For the Blazers. Comes out to Schmidt. Schmidt, a quick shot blocked by Ferland. Goes into the corner. Ferland came up big there. Krause with it around behind the net. Rob Krause. Krause for the Americans. 4-on-4. Pass to Spenrath. Stolen away by Ewell. Ewell fires one off the boards. In behind the net it goes. Back for it is Krause. Krause playing it out to Spenrath. Spenrath with it. Hit there by Needham. Out to Dirksen. Dirksen goes to Delcourt. Delcourt with it across the blue line. Tries to beat Schmidt. He does. Delcourt with it. Now it's slapped away by Schmidt. Back into the Tri-City zone. It'll be icing. Nope. Krause back to touch it. Icing waved off. And Spenrath there. Spenrath for the Americans across the neutral ice area. Feeds left to Delcourt. Delcourt racing in after it. Oh, he takes McClelland in hard. Puck left of the net. Delcourt and Spenrath dig for it. Delcourt down along the boards with McClelland as they're tied up. Now the puck is loose. In after it is Deck. Deck shoots it out along the boards to Buchanan. Buchanan with it. Here come the Blazers. Buchanan across the blue line into the slot. Tries to leave it behind. Has it checked away by Dirksen. Cruz centers it. Tried to get it in there to Buchanan. Buchanan can't do anything with it. Penalty to LeBrun is over. LeBrun steps out. Takes the pass from Sen. Here comes LeBrun. LeBrun and Trevor Sen. LeBrun wheels in. Leaves it behind. Nobody home for the Americans. Down goes Kim Deck. Deck feeds a pass out right side to Harrison. Puck shot back into the Kamloops zone. Back after it now is McClelland. McClelland plays it all the way around. Left side to Deck. Deck out to LeBrun. They get it ahead to McGowan. McGowan with it in the slot. Poke checked away by Sirstenka. Headman pass to LeBrun from Sen. Here comes LeBrun, 1-on-3. But Rennie's there. Back to Rennie it goes. Rennie wheels around behind the net.
That was a beautiful.
Oh, what a LeBrun! What a play by Steve Rennie.
Oh, excellent play. Steve Rennie whizzes behind the net, takes the pass, turns a backhanded pass out in front of the slot, catches Corey Hirsch looking for Steve Rennie coming around the backside, and there's Sean LeBrun to just put it right into an empty net, and that's the 7th American goal this game. 7-1.
What a beautiful play by Steve Rennie.
If they could give 2 points on assist, that was a 2-pointer right there. That was a beautiful pass by Steve Rennie.
6:53 to go in the hockey game. The Americans leading 7-1. Americans win the draw. To Krause. Krause has it slapped away, but Fry is there. Rick Fry with it for the Americans. 3-on-4. Fry starts in on Hirsch, losing the puck to Needham. And Sen also getting an assist on that as Needham brings it up. Needham, poke checked away by Dirksen. Dirksen taking Needham into the board. In after it is Nibbs. Puck in behind the Tri-Cities net. Now it comes out to Krause. Krause with it. Headman to McNutt. Rolls across the neutral zone into the Kamloops zone. Back for to Schmidt. Schmidt with it. Fires a pass out on the left side to Shazowski. Has it knocked away by the Americans, but Huber's there to take it back. Huber, headman to Shazowski. Shazowski across the blue line. Tripped up there. Puck taken away. And the Americans will have it. Rob Krause wheels back into his own zone. Has to evade Harrison. Krause with it. Harrison gets wood on it. Harrison in front of Furlan, but he's checked away by McNutt. Good play by McNutt. Dirksen and Barnes bring it up. Dirksen splits the defense, goes to the right corner. Barnes is checked away, can't get to it. Barnes racing in behind the net now. Barnes taking it away from Creighton. Puck's loose to Robertson. Left side, Robertson tried to center it right in the slot. It goes. The Americans slap at it, can't get anything done with it. Puck shot back out to neutral ice. Kutowitz there for the Americans. Cutter wheels back into his own zone. Kutowitz feeds left to Sherstenka. Back to Kutowitz. Dan Kutowitz brings it up, or Kelly Kutowitz with it. Kutowitz takes it in ahead on Hirsch. He shoots, and it's blocked by Corey Hirsch. Spenrath was there, but there was no rebound. Puck comes off along the boards to the right side. Now they get it ahead to McGowan. Here comes McGowan for the Blazers. Shoots it in right of the net. Furlan there to leave it for Kutowitz. Kelly Kutowitz out to Spenrath. Spenrath ahead to Robertson. Robertson right to Barnes. Stu Barnes to Robertson in the slot, and Robertson wiped out. Back out to the point. Blue line. Here it comes to Cruz. Cruz for the Blazers. Takes it in. Gets across the blue line. Shoots it wide of the net right. Furlan there to whip it around. It comes out to the point to Ewell. Ewell along the boards. Has it knocked away by the Americans. All the way into the Kamloops zone. It'll be icing when it's touched by the Blazers. McGowan, and almost there to break that up was Stu Barnes.
And Stu stand down there looking at the linesman going, come on, I beat you guys down here.
7-1, the Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers.
Well, hopefully, Kirk, these guys can take this type of momentum into tomorrow night's game against the Victoria Cougars up there at the Memorial Coliseum. That will be a terrific game. I know Victoria is looking forward to that one.
Yep. I'm sure the Cougars are. That game was called with 2:58 to go after the second line brawl in less than a minute. Face off to the your right as you look on from center ice to the right of the Americans' net. In behind the net is Krause. The Americans win the draw. Comes out now to Delcourt. Delcourt with it, being molested by Sador. Back behind the net, Kraus shoots the outlet pass to Ruck this time. Ruck ahead to Sen. Trevor Sen with it. Sen for LeBrun, but he has it checked away by McClelland. Shot back into neutral ice. Kraus dumping it in. Shot back to neutral ice again by the Blazers. Kraus with it. Wheels around, goes left to Colin Ruck. Ruck's pass ahead intended for LeBrun. Stolen by Kim Deck. Now Ruck putting a hit on as the Blazers lose the puck once again at center ice to the Americans. Colin Ruck wheels back for it. Goes left to Kraus. Kraus's pass broken up by McClelland. McClelland walks in and a whistle as we had a Blazer in ahead of the puck.
Offside. As a matter of fact, Kirk, there's some real big divisional games this week. As we mentioned earlier, of course, the Americans play Victoria tomorrow night and Portland on Friday night. Also on Friday night, the Kamloops Blazers host the Victoria Cougars. So this entire division is going to go through some bruises this last week of 1988.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Face-off outside the Kamloops, or the Americans' blue line. Won by Tri-Cities. Kraus right to Jakes. Jakes ahead of McNutt. Puck knocked loose and is back to Dirksen. Dirksen ahead for Nibs. Into the corner it goes. Racing after it is Yule. Fry and Yule go in. Fry missing the hit on Yule. Gets the puck back from McNutt. Fry and Yule. That time Fry got him along the boards. McNutt leaving it back now for Nibs. As Yule chases after it. Fans on it. Fry tried to center it. Couldn't do it. Lost it to Harrison. Harrison goes left now to Shazowski. Shazowski checked off it by the Americans, Jakes. But the Blazers have it. Back out front to Harrison. His slap shot. Blocked out front by Fry. Puck stick handled away by Nibs. Nibs dumping it back into neutral ice. Caught there by Schmidt. Schmidt's pass knocked away by the Americans. Oh, a big hit on McNutt. As McNutt was just leveled by Corey Anderson. Puck shot ahead of the blue.
And he got him back.
Evened it up. And here comes Spinrath. A drive wide to the net left side. Rebound out to Spinrath. Spinrath and Malone. Malone in after around behind the net. Penalty coming up. Blazers get it and a whistle. Penalty will come against the Americans, I believe.
High sticking call is going to be the call. And Kirk, I think it looks like the Blazers penalty box it is. Number 3. Steve Ewell will go sit down for a couple minutes for a high stick.
And that one comes at the 17:20 mark.
What about that hit by McNutt?
I tell you what, he just turned Corey Anderson upside down. And Anderson is kind of a tough guy for the Blazers.
Paybacks are, yeah, that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Actually, a lot of fun to watch because the crowd really reacted to that.
That was really good. That's good hockey, though. That's what it's all about.
Face-off will come to the right-hand side of Corey Hirsch. He was relieved for part of the first period by Dean Cook, and now he's back in the crease. He came back at the start of the second period. Americans win the draw. They're on the power play. This is their 9th of the night. Malone sliding it down for Spinrath. Spinner can't get to it. It goes down into the corner. Malone hit there big by McGowan, but Malone has it. Malone into the slot. Frank Malone leaves it behind for Jakes. A drive in the slot. Rebound Spinrath. He tried to drive it in, and Hirsch covers it up. Well, I tell you what, he tried to drive that right through Corey Hirsch.
You know, the Americans for the last few games now have tried this oversided to the right side of the goaltender on the stick side, the weak side, and have put the defenseman over here and really worked this side. And that's really good because it's paid off. The defensemen have increased their point totals almost twofold in the last, I'd say, last 6 games. The defense has really come through for the Americans.
Certainly has made a difference. Face off to the right of Hirsch. Comes out to Dirksen. Dirksen's drive goes wide of the net right. Partially deflected out front. Back to Dirksen. Dirksen feeds right to Jakes. Back to Dirksen to Jakes. Jakes right down the slot. Spinrath tried to get the rebound. Couldn't do it. As Spinrath chases Schmidt off the puck. And Rennie there for Jakes. Jakes in the slot. A shot! Rebound comes right up in front as Hirsch gets wood on it again. Spinrath out at the wing now. Spinrath slides it down to Malone. Has it knocked away, but it's stopped by Dirksen at the blue line. Dirksen gets it back to Spinrath. Back to Dirksen. Left. Jakes. Jakes a drive! Saved by Hirsch. Rebound comes out to Spinrath, and Spinner's tied up in front. Out to Rennie now. And the Roondog feeds it left to Spinrath. He starts in from the left side. Has the puck knocked away. Puck still into control of the Americans. Dirksen with it. Dirksen goes right to Jakes. Jakes from the right angle now. His shot smothered by Schmidt. Rebound comes right down in front of him. Here comes Schmidt. Don Schmidt, 1-on-3. Rennie from behind. Schmidt across the blue line, and Rennie wheels it right away from him.
Nice poke check.
Rennie with the puck. Steve Rennie, 28 seconds remaining in the power play. To Dirksen. Back to Frank Malone. Malone upended by Anderson. But he gets it right back from Dirksen. Malone from Dirksen now, looking for LeBrun. Malone shoots! Wide of the net. Rebound comes back out front. Creighton with it. They got it out to Anderson. Back into neutral ice, and Krause is there for the Americans. Krause to Ruck. Ruck ripping it into the Kamloops zone. Right to left behind the net. LeBrun goes in. Dumps Creighton. And we have a whistle.
Frozen puck. We'll have a face-off.
Now, Kim Deck would like to have a little chat with LeBrun about etiquette.
$65 per person, and that does include your lodging.
Another announcement on the bus ride.
Yeah. 7-1, the score. The Americans leading. 36 seconds remaining in the hockey game. It is 7-1. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. Trevor Sen will be in the penalty box, and we'll be talking with a number of the players. Certainly Greg Spenrath, the big redhead, getting his hat trick, first hat trick of the season, and the Magic Man himself, Frank Ferlin, and of course we'll be talking with John Ulver. The team will be leaving tonight, incidentally, to travel to Victoria. They'll be leaving after the game tonight, and then the Reuter bus will leave at 7 o'clock in the morning, incidentally. Robertson with it across the blue line. Robertson feeds right to Barnes. Barnes couldn't get wood on it. Both teams at full strength as LeBrun evades a big hit. Puck goes. LeBrun goes down. Bertuzzi with it. Knocked away at the blue line. Here comes Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi feeds it off the boards. Left, and Ferlin out of the crease to get it. 9 seconds remain. Ferlin plays it along the boards. Shot down to the right side. Ruck. You hear the crowd counting it down. Ruck with it behind the net. Colin Ruck shoots a pass out to Robertson, and time runs out. At the end of the hockey game, the Tri-City Americans winning it by a score of 7-1 over the Kamloops Blazers. And we'll be back in 2 minutes. That's the end of our game broadcast. Join us in 2 minutes for the post-game show on this Tri-City Radio American hockey broadcast. Kirk Williamson along with Tri-City's netminder Frank Ferlin. Ferlin the magician. I confess, Frank, I said the shutout word on the radio, and I'm probably responsible for that goal.
Oh, don't worry about it. I came in between the second and third period and said the same thing. I just never get the shutouts. I don't care. As long as you get a win, that's good enough for me.
Well, you in the first period, the first couple of periods, the Americans outshot Victoria Kamloops big time, and that has to make it tougher for you to keep your concentration, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised myself that I stayed in the game that long. I was even holding back the singing a little bit just to stay in the game.
You do a little singing with the fans down there along beside the net?
Oh, yeah, it's tough to keep your sanity as a goaltender, so I have to let the fans help me out on that aspect.
Well, you know, there's been some argument that goaltenders don't have to worry about keeping their sanity.
Well,
but, I wouldn't say that.
I think I'm halfway to the loony bin as it is, but I try and keep it down as much as possible.
Frank, a great game tonight. You got around behind the net and got nailed pretty good back there. What happened when you got around there? And I believe it was it Bingham that got around there on you?
Well, yeah, he came. I was just playing the puck. He came behind me, it kind of off my right shoulder, and grabbed me by the face. And, you know, he practically mugged me. I told the referee, I said if I was in Central Park, that guy would have gotten away with my wallet.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, the guy just, you know, he just grabbed me, and he took the penalty, so good enough.
Do you feel like that's taking a chance a little bit, going around behind the net sometimes?
No, it's all part of the game. I mean, especially nowadays when teams are dumping the puck in as much as they are, the goaltender has to get back there and field it up to his wingers. Otherwise you're going to be trapped in your own zone for the majority of the game.
Kim Deck came out and on the goal that Kamloops did score, Deck came in from your right, from the left of the net, and faked a shot and got you to come out a little bit, and then made the perfect pass across ice to Harrison for the goal. Harrison had it pretty much an easy shot, but he's got to make that pass 100 times before he makes one connect.
Well, I mean, he made a great play, and yeah, like you say, he's got to make that pass 100 times, but he made it at the right time, and you know, he just ruined the shutout. He wasn't doing anything except that. But you know, there's nothing I could do. I had to play him. Guys in this league shoot much too hard for a goaltender with my size to stand back and try and play him. I have to challenge the shooters. And in that instance, I came out challenged, and he made the smart play. He was hanging on, looking for someone to pass to, and he found him. There's nothing you can do about a goal like that. Lucky it was 7-1 at that time.
Frank, going up to Victoria tomorrow night, that's a game which promises to be a continuation of the war that was fought here a week or so ago against the Cougars. They're a team that has been real frustrated by the way they played against Tri-Cities.
Well, I don't think the Cougars are frustrated about the way they played against us. I think they're frustrated about some of the situations. In Victoria, Wade Flaherty's been out now for the last 3 weeks. He's the key to their team. When Wade Flaherty, and that's their goaltender, their #1 goaltender, when he's playing well, that Victoria Cougar squad's a good team. When he's not in the lineup or injured such as he is now, that Victoria squad's very mediocre with that Borgnine in goal.
Frank Ferlin, our guest on the post-game show. Congratulations on another magic performance, Frank, and look forward to tomorrow night in Victoria.
Thanks a lot.
Our post-game show will wrap up in 1 minute on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. Williamson along with Americans coach John Oliver. And John, a great game. The Americans came out really fast, scoring 5 goals in that first period.
Yes, and it's something that we've talked about an awful lot. We've really tried to come out and get a jump on the other team, try to get an early lead, try to get the first goal, and really try to put some pressure on the opposition in their own end. And really, the last few games we've been able to do that. Tonight we were able to score as well, and 27 shots in the first period. You know, I was very pleased with our play that period, and you know, in fairness, though, the Kamloops certainly came out flat, and obviously the break affected them a heck of a lot more than it did us.
Well, that's one of the things I'm sure as coaches you worry about is which team's coming back after the break. Is it going to be the team that was on a roll right before Christmas, or is it going to be the team that was flat 3 weeks before that?
You never know, and I think the biggest thing, too, was Kamloops had to travel all night. They got here at 8 o'clock this morning, and sometimes you're still able to play well, but more times than not, it does affect you, particularly early in the hockey game. You just don't have your legs. It takes you a little while to get going, and we came out and got some early goals and got a big lead, and I didn't think that Kamloops pressed us too much more after that.
Greg Spenrath saying that Santa brought him a pair of goal-scoring hands. It'd be nice to see the big guy keep filling the net.
It sure is. It's great to see a lot of guys starting to score now, and certainly Greg's one player, and Greg Dalcourt's another one that comes to mind. Just tireless workers out there, and they don't always get the reward in terms of goals that they deserve, and so it's real nice to see Greg get some goals here and start off the second half, because we have to get goal scoring from a lot of people, and tonight Greg got 3, and hopefully tomorrow it'll be somebody else get another 2 or 3.
Well, I'll tell you, the next guy on my list of people who are due that Santa should have taken care of is Steve Rennie, who's still the best player in the league with only 1 goal.
Well, he's got 2.
Oh, 2, excuse me.
It really is, but the nice thing is he's not getting down. The guys kid him about it. He jokes about it in fun, and he knows that he's just had a terrible start in terms of goals, but he works hard, he checks hard, he does all the right things, and he's gonna come out of it, and he's gonna score a lot of goals for us here this year. I don't have any doubt in my mind that's gonna happen, and you just got to keep plugging away and forget about it.
What do you do, John, to prepare for tomorrow night against Victoria? The team will drive all night, probably get to the hotel and get to bed sometime between 9:30 and 10 o'clock in the morning. It's a team that you had a tremendous battle with, and I mean that more in the battle sense than anything the last time. An 8-4 game that saw a couple of brawls at the end. What do you do to try to focus the attention on hockey going up there?
I don't think it'll be that difficult. It wasn't really that big a deal what happened last game. It just so happened that a couple incidents happened. Everybody got involved. A lot of them were more wrestling than they were fighting. And we've got a team that's not going to be intimidated. And I think Victoria got a similar team. So we don't go into the games thinking we're going to intimidate them or they're going to intimidate us. And the thing that we'll do is we'll get together and have a pregame meal around 3 o'clock, 3:30 tomorrow, and talk about the game, get ourselves mentally prepared. We have had a history this year of every time we've played well, we've come back with a stinker, and I think we'll be reminding our players about that and getting that off our back, because if we're going to take a run at it, playoff spot, and I know we want to, we've got to start playing consistently every night. The thing though with Victoria is we've had a lot of success against them the last 2 years, and we've played them twice this year, beaten them both times, and we've had a lot of success in the Victoria building, and we're pretty confident going in there.
John Over, head coach of the Tri-City Americans. That wraps it up for our post-game show. We'll be on the air tomorrow night at 7:15 from Victoria Memorial Arena. Now from the Tri-Cities Coliseum, I'm Kirk Williamson reminding you the final score. The Tri-City Americans 7, the Kamloops Blazers 1. Good night on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast.